North of Dallas, Texas, the Gaylord Texan Resort is the headquarters for Canelo Smith this week. Saturday night at AT&T Stadium, Saul Canelo Alvarez from Mexico takes on Liam Beefy Smith, Liverpool, England. And the crowd is inside the media center awaiting the grand arrival of one of the most popular athletes in Mexico right now, Saul Canelo Alvarez. They're awaiting his arrival here to the media center. We're here ready to go. Thank you for joining us this Wednesday on Ring TV, alongside the editor of ringtv.com, Doug Fisher, and longtime boxing scribe from UCN Live and Boxing Scene, Steve Kim. I'm Beto Duran. Thank you for joining us wherever you're watching in this broadcast in the United States or throughout the world. I know there's a lot of Liverpool fans that were watching us yesterday as Liam Smith made his grand arrival. Well, today it's Saul Canelo Alvarez and also the undercard fighter. So the way it works out today is they come down, shake the hands, kiss the babies, take those photo ops, get the selfies going. Then they go in the ring right behind us, maybe about 10, 15-minute workout, get the mitts, get a good little lather going on. Then they come to the desk and talk with us, rinse and repeat, and we'll have everybody for you here the next couple of hours. The main event Saturday, go to goldenboyppv.com or goldenboypayperview.com to get that pay-per-view on Saturday. You're going to hear the voices of the Hall of Famer Colonel Bob Sheridan and Larry Merchant, and that'll be Canelo Alvarez, Liam Smith, Joseph Diaz Jr., Andrew Cancio, Diego de la Hoya opens it up against Orlandito del Valle, Mexico against Puerto Rico, and the co-feature Gabe Rosado and Willie Monroe Jr. Now, Doug, when we come back, we're going to see the arrival of Canelo Alvarez. Steve, I know you're fired up for this. I'm Beto Duran, Steve and Doug. We're ready to go. Back with more on ringtv.com.
Alvarez is 26 with 50 fights. This will be his 50th fight.
There's not many things that put fear me or scare me. I was always myself, fighting in school and stuff like that.
Alvarez, golden boy, made a huge mistake here.
I think we'll have the right man to do the job and take the crown away from Saul Alvarez.
Yo quería ser boxeador desde la primera vez que vi pelear a mi hermano y es algo que me apasiona hasta el día de hoy.
Inside the media center at the Gaylord Texan Resort, about half hour north of Dallas, Texas, the headquarters for everything Canelo and Smith this week. The fans inside are waiting the arrival of the one and only Saul Canelo Alvarez. And Doug, before Canelo shows up, this is a fighter, Canelo, who is a huge draw in Mexico, but this is his third fight in Texas.
Yeah.
We've seen him in Houston, San Antonio. What do you expect Saturday in Dallas?
Listen, I think the fans are going to go crazy. I would argue
and they're going crazy right now.
Here he is with a beard. Nice.
Oh, La Barba Roja, Saul Canelo Alvarez.
That's a different look.
Yeah, I've never seen him with a beard, right?
I've seen him train with a beard.
Yeah.
I've never seen him this close to a fight with the red stuff under the chin. But, you know, he wears it well. But I was going to say,
I think you can make an argument that Canelo Alvarez, he's most popular in Texas. I actually think he's more popular in Texas than he is in Mexico.
Canelo Alvarez started boxing at the age of 15. His first pro fight in Tonalá, Mexico. He's sold out Vegas. He's put 40,000 in the seats in Houston. And now on Saturday night at AT&T Stadium, he takes on Liam Beefy Smith. Smith, undefeated fighter from Liverpool, England, making his U.S. debut, Steve Kim, and this is an interesting fight this Saturday.
I think it's a very good fight in the ring. If Liam Smith is not overwhelmed by the moment, I do believe having an experienced trainer like Joe Gallagher, who probably is the biggest brand name trainer in Britain, I think that certainly helps, bringing along guys like Matthew Macklin, who's in camp, Scott Quigg. They've all been under the bright spotlight, but I'm not so sure they've ever been on a stage this big. Guys, I pointed this out yesterday. They're not just fighting in an arena, they're fighting in a stadium, and according to, and let's go to Tattoo, guys.
Otra vez en Texas, esta vez en Dallas, AT&T Stadium. Let them know, Canelo.
No, solamente quiero agradecerles todo el apoyo que me brindan, toda la gente. Siempre cualquier Cualquier parte que voy siempre me reciben muy bien. Quiero agradecerles y créanme que les voy a ofrecer una gran pelea para que salgan satisfechos. Muchas gracias.
I want to thank the fans and everybody out there supporting me. I'm going to put on a good show Saturday.
No voy a entrenar porque ya entrené en la mañana, pero les voy a dar autógrafos.
I'm not going to work out because I already worked out this morning, but I am going to sign autographs for you guys.
Canelo, let me ask you this. ¿Estás acostumbrado o todavía es como un sueño? 3 veces en Texas, San Antonio, the Alamo Dome, Minute Maid Park, 45,000, 35,000. Now aquí estamos, AT&T Stadium, Dallas, Texas. ¿Estás acostumbrado a esto o todavía es un sueño, como algo que...
Are you used to this big stage or it's still a dream?
Esto es lo que me motiva.
That's what
Esto es lo
motivates
que
me.
me motiva para seguir triunfando, para seguir adelante, para seguir haciendo historia para mi gente y cada día me emociono más, me motivo más y esto para mí sigue siendo un sueño.
It's still a dream.
Ladies and gentlemen, here for the fans, here for the people, this Saturday live on HBO pay-per-view, taking on WBO Junior Middleweight Champion Liam Smith, el orgullo de Guadalajara, Jalisco, Saúl Canelo Álvarez.
25 years old, Canelo Alvarez, Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, a record of 47-1-1. And Doug, right now, the titles that Canelo has, what does he have?
He has, he's recognized by Ring Magazine as the middleweight champion, and he also has recognition as the linear middleweight champion.
And here's the president and founder of Golden Boy Promotions. Actually, no, the chairman, Oscar De La Hoya. Sorry, Eric Gomez.
And we will see you there at AT&T Stadium. Thank you, Oscar.
Oscar De La Hoya was here Sunday at Cowboy Stadium. Met President Bush, a longtime friend with Jerry Jones. You're going to be at Jerry House on Saturday, Steve, and a good crowd is expected to show up on what should be a decent card.
In talking to Lester Bedford, the local marketer who helped put this deal together with the Cowboy organization, longtime relationship with Jerry Jones and Golden Boy, right about now, guys, there's about 35,000 to 36,000 tickets sold, and they believe with the walk-up on Saturday, they expect between 45,000 and 50,000 patrons inside AT&T Stadium.
Well, we were getting, Doug, before we went on the air, I was telling you, I got a tweet from somebody in Arkansas telling me I was watching ringtv.com yesterday, and I'm really thinking about driving, and you brought up a good point, Doug. Said in the Midwest and the South, people drive just to drive.
You drive, yeah. You know what, a 8, 9, 10-hour trip, that's nothing.
Well, this is also different, Steve, because Canelo Alvarez, when he fights in Las Vegas, that's more of a destination. You got to get the flag at the hotel. In the Midwest, this is something different. You have that superstar coming at you, and this might be the only chance you have to see him. And why not take advantage of that?
Absolutely. And by the way, it's a different feel inside of a stadium. I remember being here for both Manny Pacquiao fights in 2010. There's a lot of tailgating. Now, that's something you don't generally see in boxing.
That's a great point.
And I actually did it one time with some of my friends, and here comes
Canelo,
Canelo,
sorry, Steve.
and I got to take a seat.
Pa' fuera, Steve. Adios. As Canelo Alvarez makes his way over to us right now. ¿Cómo estamos, Canelo?
Hey, champ.
¿Cómo te sientes ahorita con toda la gente que te está esperando aquí, más para mirar a Canelo Alvarez?
No, la verdad que me siento muy contento, muy emocionado, agradecido con toda la afición que siempre me han brindado este gran apoyo. Pues lo único que me resta pagarles a la gente es con victorias, ¿no? Entonces me siento muy motivado para esto y dispuesto a dar todo arriba del cuadrilátero para que ya salgan contentos.
I asked him how he feel with everybody here showing up on this day just for him. He said the only thing he has to do is now get the victory and put on a show for them on Saturday. Has peleado en Houston, has peleado en San Antonio, pero para pelear en Dallas es muy diferente. You fought in Houston, you fought in San Antonio, but Dallas has to be different.
Así es una historia más en mi carrera estar en este estadio tan importante. Este estadio que es sede de grandes eventos, para mí es una historia más en mi carrera, ¿no? Entonces estoy muy emocionado de que la gente me vea aquí haciendo historia y que sea parte de esta historia del Canelo.
It's another part of my history. It's very important for me to put on a show and let the people know that the story of Canelo continues to grow. You have something, Doug?
Yeah, I mean, Canelo's fought in Las Vegas, he's fought in California, obviously in Mexico, but he draws more fans in Texas than anywhere else. Does he feel that he's more popular in this region of the United States than any other place?
Oh, ¿sí entiendes?
He knows. He understands.
Creo que es una parte donde hay muchos mexicanos, donde les
There are a lot
gusta
of
el
Mexicans here.
boxeo.
They love boxing.
Es muy cerca de las fronteras, entonces todos se vienen para acá a apoyar al suyo, ¿no? Al mexicano. Entonces creo que por ese es donde puedes llenar más los estadios, donde la gente les gusta estar en esta parte, ¿no? Con el deportista, haciendo historia juntos.
When you have this many fans coming to see you, 40,000, maybe 50,000, does it raise your game to another level during the fight? Do you feed off the crowd's energy?
Sin duda.
Without a doubt.
La gente siempre te da esa motivación,
People
los
give you that
gritos,
motivation.
escucharlos. Obviamente tienes que saber asimilar todo eso, porque hay veces que te emocionas demasiado y haces las cosas mal arriba del cuadrilátero, ¿no? Pero creo que si lo tomas con calma, pero esa motivación es grandísima cuando estás arriba del
There are
cuadrilátero.
times where you can get too caught up in the emotion, but you have to stay in the moment and not let that overwhelm you with that. La última pregunta, ¿por qué esta pelea contra Liam Smith?
Bueno, es la mejor pelea que veíamos, ¿no? Obviamente ir por ese título, es campeón mundial de la OMB, ir por ese título. Creo que ningún peleador mexicano ha ganado el de la 154 de la OMB, entonces es una historia más en mi carrera, es un gran rival, que no es muy conocido acá en los Estados Unidos, pero eso no quiere decir que no sea un rival de peligro, ¿no? Entonces nosotros aquí lo importante es que estamos conscientes de lo que tiene el rival y estamos listos para él.
He might not be known in the United States, but he is a tough rival, a tough opponent, somebody that we have to take importance. And also, he has a belt. Ahí está la cámara, manda los saludos a toda la gente.
No, bueno, saludos a toda la gente, gracias por todo el apoyo que siempre me brindan y espero este próximo sábado 17 de septiembre estén ahí como siempre.
Ahí te están esperando los fans, mejor los fans que la prensa, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Pues Canelo Álvarez, ya te están esperando, gracias por todo estar con nosotros. Canelo Álvarez, Liam Smith, Saturday, Canelo 47-1-1, Liam Smith undefeated 23-0. Make sure to go to goldenboypayperview.com to get that pay-per-view on your mobile device. And there you see his last fight against last year against Miguel Cotto.
Yeah, that was November of last year. He showed his ability to slip punches and counter punch.
He basically staked out the middle of that ring, the center ring, and dared Cotto to come in and just landed the harder punches over 12 rounds, got the decision. Against Amir Khan, had trouble early with Khan's speed and his constant lateral movement, but gradually began to time the British fighter. And when he landed that overhand right, that's all she wrote. That's what you call a one-hitter quitter.
You've taught me that term. I like using it. And I always say the one-hitter quitter. Taught to me by Doug Fisher. Now, Steve Kim, you were there that night also against Amir Khan, the second time back-to-back where Canelo Álvarez takes on a Brit.
It is, and I think this fight is much more daunting of a physical challenge. You know, Amir Khan really was a natural junior welterweight, had some success at welterweight. Had also been stopped, knocked down, buzzed many times. And really 155, which is technically middleweight, junior middle. Let's face it, when Amir Khan fights again, I believe it will be at 147 for most of his career from this point forward. You look at Liam Smith, you look at his frame, look at the way he's built. He's a natural junior middleweight, and the word I would use to describe him physically, Doug, is sturdy.
Yeah, absolutely. Smith is more of a physical challenge. Amir Khan was a stylistic conundrum, and Canelo solved it. We'll see how he deals with a very capable boxer who can match his physical strength.
Now, if you're watching this on ringtv.com, we appreciate you. Make sure to go to the Golden Boy Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, YouTube page. Am I missing something else? Don't go to the MySpace. It doesn't exist anymore. But we do appreciate all the tweets we're getting right now. Use the hashtag RingTV. I'm Durant Sports, Dougie Fisher, Steve UCN Live. And go to goldenboyppv.com, and you'll be able to buy the fight for this weekend. So everybody's a cord cutter. You know, you want to watch the fight, but on quality broadcast, Larry Merchant, the Colonel Bob Sheridan, You do it on your phone, computer, your iPad, whatever mobile device you want to use, your tablet that Steve's going to be using to watch football this weekend, goldenboypayperview.com, and you can actually order it right now. It is live waiting for you. We're digital. The Golden Boy Media and Entertainment Group, led by David Tatro, has everything you need for Canelo Smith this week. And also, you can watch archive footage of behind-the-scenes stuff from Canelo on the road to camp, on his mano-a-mano. Everything you need is right there at the Golden Boy social media pages. We'll be back with more of the undercard fighters and more of Canelo walking around, shaking hands, kissing babies, doing what he's got to do in Dallas, Texas. You're watching Ring TV.
Alvarez is 26 with 50 fights. This will be his 50th fight.
There's not many things that put fear me or scare me. I was always the sales fighting in school and stuff like that.
Alvarez, golden boy, made a huge mistake here.
I think we'll have the right man to do the job and take the crown away from Saddam Alvarez.
Yo quería ser boxeador desde la primera vez que vi pelear a mi hermano y es algo que me apasiona hasta el día de hoy.
Available now, the new Tecate Bold Punch app. Experience the Canelo's meat fight like never before. During the fight, keep track of the action as your phone vibrates every time Canelo lands a bold punch. Also get exclusive behind-the-scenes video, photos, and live streams throughout Fight Week, only available on the Tecate Bold Punch app. Download now from the App Store for both Android and iPhone devices.
Gaylord Texan Resort, north of Dallas, Texas, the headquarters for Canelo and Smith this weekend. We are inside the media center where there is a buzz in the building. And Doug, we've been in Vegas, we've been in different venues where we've been in the House of Boxing down in San Diego. When Canelo walks in, it's always something very interesting with him. He feels like he's a rock star. Canelo Smith, presented by Tecate, born bold. Download the new Tecate Bold Punch app from the App Store today for more exclusive coverage for Canelo and Smith. And there you see the crowd lined up. They were getting here early. A lot of these people, when I was walking in from the hotel, were saying, this is the first chance we get to see him. You know, I think we take it for granted because being around him so much. But this guy, to boxing fans, Steve, he's a rock star to them.
There's no doubt about it. If you take a look at this business post-Pacquiao Mayweather, and I really believe that the business has to move on, that he is a foundational fighter. There's probably guys like him. I think the winner of Ward Kovalev, certainly Gennady Golovkin. These are the guys that are going to carry the sport into the future. And Doug, we talked about it earlier. Every time Canelo is in Texas, and I've been to every single one of his fights, from the Alamo Dome against Austin Trout, I believe there was 48,000 there. Yeah. Last year at Minute Maid Park, there was about 33,000. And this weekend, there'll be over 40,000. To do that in this day and age of boxing is simply spectacular.
And it's not just the volume. It's not just the number of fans. The Alamo Dome was deafening. Yeah. The crowd, I mean, their support for Canelo during those difficult 12 rounds against Trout was uncommon. I mean, it was literally deafening. And at Minute Maid Park in Houston last May, when he knocked out James Kirkland, that place literally exploded. And there was an electricity in the atmosphere, in the air, that lasted for another hour or two. And those are the kind of moments that make lifelong boxing fans. If you're there and you witness that, you don't just love Canelo. You're like, you want more. You start to love boxing.
Yeah. There you see Canelo Alvarez being interviewed by the Spanish media. That coming from Mexico just for this fight. It's specifically for him. He sat down with us moments ago, and now he's going to go and do the circuit around. There is just... I put on the Golden Boy Snapchat, go and check out the behind-the-scenes coverage of what's going on. So you want to see what it's like being here for 15 minutes, and you wonder why everybody is pulling at him, tugging at him. And this is a dude who still has to make weight, who still is worked out this morning, And in the week of a fight, guys, it's the worst week for a fighter.
You know, what's interesting about this fight week is that Canelo was scheduled to be here on Sunday at the Cowboy game. This is now his grand arrival on Wednesday, which for fight week, especially for a pay-per-view battle, is relatively late. I think there are a couple of things here. I think, number one, he's taking this fight very seriously. And we also pointed this out. It's been a full 3 years, Beto, since Canelo Alvarez has actually been a full-fledged junior middleweight. From that point forward, every one of his fights has been at 154.5 or 155. I think this weigh-in Friday is going to be very, very interesting.
And that weigh-in, you can watch it here live on ringtv.com. That'll be at AT&T Stadium. Let me give you some schedule for the rest of the week. Thursday, the final press conference at AT&T Stadium. Check it out on ringtv.com. That'll be 2 p.m. Central Time. The weigh-in on Friday, it is open to the public, so if you're in Texas and you want to go check it out, doors open at 1 o'clock for that weigh-in. The Canelo Smith official weigh-in starts at 2:30 Central Time. And this is one where you will also see a lot of local fighters. We are waiting the arrival of some of the local fighters that will be on the undercard. Joshua Franco will be coming up, and you'll see Zachary Ochoa, Virgil Ortiz, Saddam Ali, Hector Tanahara. There are a lot of fans in San Antonio for those guys who are very interested, so they'll be coming in, doing the ground arrival, working out, and we will be here to bring that for you. And Doug, when this fight was made between Liam Smith and Canelo Alvarez, a lot of fans in the United States like, wait, who's Smith? He's never fought in the U.S. What kind of fighter is he?
Smith is, as Steve Kim alluded to, he's durable. He's physically imposing in the junior middleweight division. He's a good boxer, very sound fundamentally, but he doesn't beat guys by outboxing them or outpointing them or outmaneuvering them. He beats guys by gradually imposing himself physically on them and wearing them down, and that is exactly what he's done to his last 8 opponents. His last 8 opponents, very solid. No huge names there, and that's part of the reason, at least on this side of the pond, people are kind of scratching their heads like, where did Canelo pull this guy out of? But here's the thing. He is a legitimate top 10 junior middleweight, and he does have a major world title. And he's not going to let Canelo Alvarez just take that belt. He's got a lot of pride. The UK boxing scene, the British boxing scene right now, it's on an all-time high. There's a lot of pride there.
A lot of champions there.
They've got more world champions than anybody right now. They don't want to lose them. They really don't. And if you're a British fighter and you beat a superstar like Canelo Alvarez, you're instantly Ricky Hatton over there.
Oh,
you know what I mean? You're like,
there's only one. There's only one.
Well,
right?
but then people will say there's only one Liam Smith. You know what I'm saying? Those UK fans will be loyal to him for the rest of his life, let alone his boxing career.
U.S. fans are going to learn about Liam Smith on Saturday. Go to Golden Boy Pay-Per-View to buy that pay-per-view from your mobile device. That website is live right there. And if you also want to get more behind the scenes, go to the Golden Boy Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook pages, and the YouTube page is where the money's at. You can listen to us call the fights from Belasco, Fancy Springs, the young up-and-comers that you're going to see on the card, like Joseph Diaz Jr., Andrew Cancio, their past fights. Hector Tanahara, Joshua Franco, all those young Golden Boy prospects. But there's also a very cool feature, a 30-minute mano-a-mano, voiced by Hall of Famer Michael Buffer. You can check that out on the Golden Boy YouTube page. And here's a sneak peek on mano-a-mano.
Sustained attack, great body shot. There's a fiendish glee about the way he goes about his work. Great body shot again.
Then with the body shot.
And a big leg hook to the head. I don't think he's got a lot left, Barry. Bravery is keeping him upright. Oh, and then down he goes. Great shot, another body shot. Right on the spot where it...
There's not many things that will fear me or scare me, and I was never ever scared of anything growing up or anyone at any age.
It can be observed that a man's fate is dictated by the contents of his character, and his limits are set only by the sum of his fears. When applied to the biography of Liam Smith, the former rings true at the start of every round.
There you go, lovely.
The latter has yet to be defined.
The one thing I do know in all my years, and there have been a lot of years in boxing, what I do know is that the Mexican people like fighters. and they're going to like Liam Smith because he cut him in half and it reads fighter. That's what he is.
Liam Smith is a fighter who is strong, who is durable, who's going to take the punch. I mean, he has legs of a soccer player. I mean, he's a big guy, and he's going to keep coming forward.
Liam follows a path well traveled by his brothers Paul, Stephen, and Callum. The groundwork for his amateur career was laid on the hard cobble streets of Liverpool, England. But the exacting standards required of a professional champion are met in the gym. And as always, the Smith brothers' sibling rivalry serves them well.
Me two brothers joined Joe first, and I was hearing good things about the training and stuff, and obviously I wanted to still be around my brothers as well. We're a close family, we're very close, and I moved to Joe. We've had 17 fights there now, and we're still unbeaten and we're going strong.
I've always believed in Liam Smith when he came in the gym and he was shadow boxing and the way he was moving. And I just thought he's got something about him, the way that he moved, and then when he started sparring, and he had something that you're not born with, it's timing.
As Liam "Beefy" Smith can attest, traditional naming conventions have been applied equally to his past, present, and future.
I was a fat baby. I was a big kid, and my dad called me when I was I think it was 3 years of age. And he kept it going. Obviously, some people now we call me little nephew champ. You're right, champ, and you're the little nephew Scouse. You make names up as kids. And my dad called me Beefy as a kid, and obviously every time he used to shout me and mess about, he used to call me Beefy, and it just stuck ever since. And I can't really moan about it because I fight with it on my shorts. So.
Just as regional dialects serve to identify one's geographic origins, specific fighting styles have come to be associated with certain regions as well. Enter the Scouse Mexican.
He's got a good style. I mean, he fight. We call him our Scouse, which is a Liverpool thing. Our Scouse Mexican. He fights a little bit like a Mexican. A lot of body shots, a lot of action. Good puncher. Since 2013, he's knocked out everybody that he's fought. I think that's 8 knockouts.
Tiene un estilo como mexicano, golpea bien abajo, combina muy bien. Es lo que me gusta, que estén ahí para estar ahí, que la gente salga contenta de una buena pelea.
I think you're going to see the way I fight. I think I fight the way most of the Mexicans were brought up to fight. They love a fight and no fanciness about them, and that's what I am. I don't showboat. I don't dance around the ring. I love a fight, and I smile when I'm in the ring because it's what I love to do.
Smiling Liam Smith.
And you can check out the entire Mano a Mano on the Golden Boy YouTube page. There you see on your screen Zungri, Brooklyn, New York's own Zachary Ochoa. Kid was born in 1992, 15-0, and he will be taking on Daniel Montoya out of Tamaulipas, Mexico. Montoya is 11-4. Zachary Ochoa, we've seen him a bunch of times on the Golden Boy LA Fight Club at the Belasco Theater, also Fancy Springs. He also fought in Las Vegas, a fighter who's quickly making his way up the Golden Boy chain, and you see some highlights of some recent fights for Zungri Ochoa.
Yeah, now Zachary is a boxer, but when he catches you on the end of his right hand, there's a lot of power there. There's a lot of pop when he times it right, and we're seeing his last appearance at the Belasco Theater on LA Fight Club. That is a one-hitter quitter. We're talking about one-hitter quitters. That is a cold-blooded one-punch knockout. Happened in the 8th and final round of that fight, and maybe a knockout candidate for the year.
Zachary Ochoa, 15-0, 7 KOs. Brooklyn, New York. Started boxing around the age of 12, 13. Turned pro in 2011. And you're going to see him right there in the ring, working out shadow boxing. A good undercard. That'll start at 2:30 Central Time. Steve, Doug, and myself will be on the call. And you'll have 6 free fights coming your way on ringtv.com. Then after that, go to goldenboypayperview.com to get the big fights on HBO also. And that'll be Canelo Álvarez, Liam Smith, Gabriel Rosado, Willie Monroe Jr., Joseph Diaz Jr., Andrew Cancio, Diego De La Hoya, Orlandito Del Valle, and all those fighters showed up yesterday And Steve, when you see these young guys, you've been covering the sport a long time, when these young guys come to an event like this, it's completely different from them. That's what the promoter's doing on purpose, right? To give them this taste of it?
In many respects, this is a reconnaissance mission for the managers and the trainers involved, especially if they don't have a lot of experience. I think a lot of the times, the truth of the matter is, you will oftentimes fight in front of a bigger crowd at Belasco Theater than in the early afternoon of a pay-per-view crowd. But what you're really gaining in terms of experience is being around the promotion the whole week, getting to know different parts of the media, understanding the satellite tours that go on with the fighters. You get a taste of the atmosphere and exactly what you might be going through if you develop enough in 3 to 4 years. I tell this story all the time. When Pernell Whitaker fought Oscar De La Hoya in April of 1997, a guy that fought at about 4:30 in the afternoon, even before HBO's cameras went on the line, guy by the name of Floyd Mayweather. Fought a guy by the name of Bobby Jeepert, I believe a southpaw of Louisiana. And it just goes to show you, everybody eventually starts somewhere.
Well, Doug, we're going to see this also on Saturday. Joseph Diaz Jr., who made his pro debut in 2012 coming off the Olympics, he fought, he told me the other day, at 3:30 at the Sports Arena, Amir Khan, Carlos Molina. He said it was the best thing ever because he was a professional, but he had just come from the Olympics, where he had Kevin Durant and the NBA team right there next to him. Now there's 20 people in the arena.
Basically an empty arena, right? But that's where you start, and you know, it's great to see these guys get this kind of exposure before fight day, and this is great for the fans as well, because if they're not familiar with Zachary Ochoa, maybe they get a chance to get an autograph from him. Maybe they talk to him. They find out, hey, he's a good personality. They start to follow him on Twitter and Instagram. This is the social media age, so it's an opportunity to fans to really connect with the boxers, and you even get a glimpse of their style. If you've never seen Ochoa fight, just by watching the way he shadow box, you know that he's a boxer. You know he relies on speed, hand-eye coordination. You know that he moves a lot. So you get a little bit of a hint of what's to come.
Yeah, the goal of every young fighter is when you're fighting early on, you're fighting when the sun is set very high, eventually is to fight after the sun sets. That is a mark of progress. That a lot of these guys that you find, let's say, go through their box recs, guys that are on the pay-per-view show, they all began fighting at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and eventually the bigger stages of boxing, you usually fight 7, 8 o'clock. It really is a marker of progress when you are scheduled to fight.
Well, Canelo Alvarez's first U.S. fight, the Morongo Casino, about an hour and a half east of downtown Los Angeles, before the sunset.
Yeah.
So that's where you have to go. I think one of the cool things for this, and you have these fighters, and they want to be their own headliners on these club shows. They want to be there. They want to get on TV. But when you're getting here, Steve, you alluded to something very important. The promotions are giving these guys a taste of what it's like. It's almost like you're bringing up a minor leaguer to September call-up where you're teaching them what it's like to be a pro.
I think that is a great analogy because for the first time, I think Zachary's actually had some experience on these type of shows. But for young men like Hector Tanahara, who's only a few fights in, or a guy like Virgil Ortiz, who we saw pro debut about 7 weeks ago, this is an eye-opening experience. For the first time to see a media room, to see Radio Row, to see all the media that's going to be there. And even if there's not going to be a lot of people inside the venue, I have to be honest, if you're a young man, a young, impressionable professional, that first time you go out to see Dallas Cowboys Stadium, AT&T Stadium, I remember being out there 6 years ago for the Pacquiao fight. It's breathtaking when you actually see how big that venue is.
It's awe-inspiring. I mean, it's, you know, we were just at the T-Mobile Arena. It's a big deal in Las Vegas. You could fit the T-Mobile Arena inside AT&T Stadium.
You could fit 3 or 4 T-Mobiles inside a Cowboys
you
Stadium.
Really, you have to be there to really experience it.
Beto Duran, Doug Fisher, and Steve Kim. Thanks to Steve Razzo watching us in Houston. This time he's not at the refinery. He's at home, making sure that everything's good. And for everybody who's at home watching with their newborns, Marco, thank you for watching us on Ring TV. And you keep the tweets coming. Use the hashtag Ring TV. We'll check it out, trying to get you involved here. And also, if you're at home and you're working from home, cool. If you're at work right now, as I made the joke yesterday, the Excel spreadsheet, it wasn't a joke. Somebody actually sent me a picture. You're right, Beto. You caught on to us. Veronica working mortgages in South Pasadena. Thank you very much for watching today. And this fight on Saturday, Liam Smith, Canelo Alvarez, Gabe Rosado, Willie Monroe, and that one's getting heated back and forth with the trash talking. Joseph Diaz Jr., Andrew Cancio, Diego De La Hoya, and Orlandito Del Valle kicks it off. Go to goldenboypayperview.com and buy the pay-per-view for Saturday. And one of the cool features of working with two of the best boxing scribes around is that they have different features in their careers. Doug Fisher, his email mailbag on Fridays and Mondays. Dougie, the email for that is
Dougie at boxingmailbag.com.
And it publishes Friday and Monday. He will take care of you, answer a lot of different questions.
Get your emails in before Thursday afternoon. I got to start early on this week's Friday mailbag because it's going to be a big one.
Oh, there it is. We'll get them. You know, don't wait till Thursday.
It'll be a fat Friday mailbag.
Do it right now while you're at it. And then Steve Kim, listen to his podcast with Mario Lopez, the 3 knockdown rule. Also, the Montoya Factor with Gabe Montoya. It's actually called the Next Round, but I like saying the Montoya Factor. I love alliteration here. We get for that all you need. So plenty of boxing information going out. Steve, your news and notes, one of the best features that we have when we're doing a broadcast. What are the news and notes that you have for the month of September, and also you have stuff coming up in October, November?
Well, something that happened that was announced by Zanfer on Twitter, the official promoter of Juan Francisco Estrada, they said that he is dumping his WBC 112 belt. You know, Doug, there was a fight that we went to at the LA Sports Arena on a wet, rainy night in November 2012 between a guy that now has a 115-pound belt that fought Estrada. Let's do Chocolatito Estrada next year again.
Oh. Yeah, it looks like he's getting – yeah, and actually Estrada had the WBO and WBA belts.
Yeah.
It was Gonzalez that has a WBC belt. Who cares? We're talking about flyweight belts. It looks like the action – in the lower, lighter weight classes is going to be junior bantamweight, 115 pounds, where you have Chocolatito. Juan Estrada's joining the fray. There's a guy from the Philippines.
Yes.
Donnie Nietes.
Yes.
And, of course, Carlos Cuadras. You know, he lost for the first time this past Saturday, but his stature rose in the sport, and I want to see him fight again, and I want to see him fight Gonzalez again.
And, Beto, yesterday I saw Scott Quigg, a former 122-pound belt holder who lost a split decision to Carl Frampton at a fight Doug was at several months ago. He tells me he is returning November 26th on the Anthony Joshua undercard. He is officially moving up to 126, and yes, he absolutely wants another shot at the Jackal.
The Jackal, Carl Frampton. And thanks for everybody who's watching us all over. The Golden Boy Promotions offices are in downtown Los Angeles. They move everybody here to Dallas, Texas. Yosi Mendoza is the only one holding it down in downtown Los Angeles. She'll be here later on this week. Yosi, thanks for watching us. Always love it when we walk in through that door and you say hello to everybody with a big smile on your face. Appreciate it, and make sure you bring the candy when you come to Dallas. Use that hashtag RingTV if you have any questions for Steve or Doug. Right now you're watching Zachary Ochoa in the ring, 5'9", 140 pounds out of Brooklyn, New York, 15-0, 7 KOs. He will be taking on Daniel Montoya, no relation to Gabe Montoya, Tamaulipas, Mexico. His opponent is 11-4 with 8 KOs. And Ochoa started as a pro in 2011, a 4th round stoppage of William Ware. After that, been brought along. He's fought lately against veteran opposition. I think, Doug, that's one thing that Roberto Diaz, the matchmaker for Golden Boy, and Javier Razo, they're bringing these young kids up, but they're throwing them to the men who have experience. He fought David Rodella.
Yeah, he wants them to get rounds, absolutely. And Rodella did his job. That was at the Sports Arena, I believe, last summer.
Yes, it was.
And Rodella was crafty, he was tricky, and he took him 8 rounds at the 8-round distance, and Zachary learned from that fight. The next couple of times we saw him, he was knocking guys out. And one of the things about Ochoa that's difficult for his opponents is that he's a boxer who has sneaky or deceptive power, because he doesn't throw hard all the time. He'll just tap you, and then he'll set you up for one really hard body shot or one really hard counter right hand, and sometimes it's lights out.
You know, his last fight, I alluded to the fact at the Belasco Theater, I thought for 7.5 rounds he was the older version of Bernard Hopkins, the alien. I thought the last right hand really reminded me of the Executioner days. And that overhand right that I see him practicing, it is actually something, it's not just a flaw, it's actually the way they practice a sweeping overhand right, and it brought to mind Bernard Hopkins' big knockout over Joe Lipsy.
Wow.
It was on
You're
ABC.
going way back,
right,
man.
and actually Joe Lipsy levitated in the air, he was knocked out, and it basically ended his career with that
Never
one
fought
punch.
again. That's absolutely right.
Zachary Ochoa, you can watch his fight on ringtv.com on Saturday. Scheduled to be the 3rd fight in action. Here he is with Tattoo.
Every single person in Dallas, Texas to come through, watch a great night of boxing, HBO, Golden Boy Promotions. This is going to be a great opportunity for me to display my skills and to display my growth in my career, and I want everybody to watch out, baby.
There he is, Brooklyn, New York, Zachary Zungri Ochoa, Coach Kelly.
Zachary Ochoa will be making his way over to us right now. It all action gets going on Saturday with Anthony Yarde. Canelo Alvarez said, I wasn't going to work out for you guys because he already put in his hard workout. Now, this is more of an exhibition, a little shadow boxing. You see some gloves, get a little sweat, looks cool, great for photo opportunities. I'm pretty sure this morning Canelo Alvarez did some real hard work at the Gaylord Texan Resort in Grapevine, Texas. That's where the headquarters for it. And those are the fans. He said he was going to stick around and take pictures with the fans. I don't know where he's at.
Yeah, I can't even see. He is literally, that's what you call mobbed.
Where's Canelo?
I don't know what some of those cameras are grabbing right now. They're footage of the back of people's heads. But I tell you, the Golden Boy cameras get you behind the scenes stuff. We're getting you the back of people's receding hairlines right now. Where is he?
But this is Canelo. This is Canelo on fight week, but particularly in Texas. He's got all the media and all the fans, and he's just surrounded.
Look at Raul, the man right there with the black hat right next to him. That's Raul, one of his security guards, help out assistant, right there from Southgate, California. He's always in Canelo's camp. You always wonder, like, who are these guys over their shoulders? What are they doing? Well, Raul actually serves a purpose.
Yes, he does.
Right-hand man, whatever he needs. There you see Ramiro, director of PR for Golden Boy, smooth black hair, pushing people away. Ramiro's doing the job. There you go,
look
Ramiro.
at him, yeah, swatting. Yeah, get him.
Beto, it was interesting. Early on, as we're running the mano-a-mano feature, a fighter came in with this camp with their WBC belt. It was an unidentified fighter. It caused a bit of a ruckus. And no, it was not Golovkin, folks, so get rid of that. But they actually tried to get to Canelo in his camp. I would love to know, who was that masked fighter?
I'm pretty sure Ramiro took him away.
Was it Charles Hatley?
Because he's local. He's from Dallas.
And he's a junior middleweight.
Yeah.
It might have been Charles Hatley.
Even the mariachi's trying to take pictures.
If it was not Charles Hatley, I apologize to Charles Hatley.
Well,
but you did get a shout out on this stream, so come on.
You know what you do though? You gotta go and you gotta come at the king. You gotta come correct, like they said in The Wire. We're now joined by Zachary Ochoa. What's up, Zungri Ochoa? How you feeling, man?
I feel great. I feel ready to fight.
Hold on, man. Look at that. You keep telling me you want to work on our broadcast. You gotta learn how to use the microphone. Let me fix that for you right there. Breathe, baby, breathe. You just got done working out. How you feeling?
I feel great, man. I'm excited to be here. It's a great opportunity for me, and I'm very thankful, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You feeling good?
Yeah,
On weight, everything nice?
That's right, yeah.
That's right, you got that smile. Usually the week of a fight, guys are like, I don't know, but Zungri always comes in with that smile.
My thing is you got to embrace the moment. You got to enjoy the moment. If not, it's going to eat you alive and suck all your energy. So I just want to have fun, be myself, and just enjoy the moment and do my job.
How was this experience? How was this different from fighting at Blasco or fighting on the undercard of a show at Barclays in Brooklyn or at the Armory in Washington, D.C.? How was fighting in Texas on a huge card that's going to be in a stadium? How is this different from your other experiences?
I mean, this is very different because it's a way bigger card. I've never fought on a Canelo undercard, and obviously, I've never been on a card that's so massive, packed with so many great friends and like that. The only thing I could compare to it was in Puerto Rico with Salito and Roman Martinez. Martinez, but the stadium was shaking, so I'm sure when Cowboy Stadium is going to be amazing.
We were talking about this, Steve, Doug, and I, that one of the cool things that Golden Boys does for the fighters when you're promoted by them is they make sure to give you this kind of exposure.
Yes.
Not just to say, you're going to fight at 3 in the afternoon, but be here the entire week. See the fans, do these media workouts. How much does that help you as you progress in your career?
I mean, it helps me a lot because, you could be a great fighter that could be 25-0 with 25 knockouts, but if you don't have the exposure, you're not going to get what you want in your career, and that's the financial status, and that's the great fans that everybody wants. So, it's a great opportunity for me to come out and display my skills in front of everyone.
For the people who are going to watch you on Saturday for the first time, how do you describe your style?
My style is unorthodox style. I'm a boxer puncher. I can either box the whole fight, or I could come very aggressive, or I can land one shot to end it.
15-0, 7 KOs. There's that camera. Come on, promote your Instagram, promote your Snapchat, promote it all. Do it. That's what we're here for, baby.
Everybody follow me at Zachary Ochoa on Instagram and Twitter, Zungri on the Snapchat. I want to thank everybody, Ring TV Live, Golden Boy Promotions, HBO Boxing. I want to thank everyone, my team. This is going to be a great experience for me, and I'm ready to go. God bless.
Wait, Zungri what? Zungri _ Ochoa on Snapchat?
No, just Zungri.
Zungri?
Yes.
Man, I'm going to get you there. Zachary Ochoa. Make sure to check him out Saturday on Ring TV.
That's right.
Also on Ring TV, a local fighter, 18 years old from Dallas, Texas, Virgil Ortiz.
This is Virgil Ortiz, very tall. You see him in the black trunks. One of these guys who can punch, doesn't necessarily want to use his height and his reach in boxing from the outside. He's very comfortable in close because he believes in his power.
18 years old, Dallas, Texas, Virgil Ortiz, fighting for the second time. This is a fighter who has an amateur big standout, a bit of a bidding war trying to see who was going to be his promoter. There you see it walking in. Virgil Ortiz got the Golden Boy silhouette on his shirt.
Very savvy on the young man's part.
Very good.
Very nice. Trained by Joel Diaz in Coachella, California. You see Joel right behind him. And Joel Diaz, Steve, doesn't just take on any fighter. He takes on fighters that he knows have potential. So for him to take on somebody like this, that says something.
You know, Virgil Ortiz is a young man that's a part of his roster that really is post-Tim Bradley in his training career. And I still remember about a fight or two ago at the Fantasy Springs Theater, they had the area where they have the weigh-in, and Robert said, Joel said, can you come over here? And he introduced me about 6 or 7 kids. Virgil was one of them. And he said, this is my new generation of champions. Now, Betta, we were there for Ortiz's pro debut July 30th at Fantasy Springs. Now, we didn't get a great sample size, but we found out one thing about him. This kid can punch.
A third round knockout over Julio Rodas. Joking with him when I saw him at the casino, like, why did you wait so long? He's like, well, I needed to get a couple rounds in.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're 18. Like, already sounding like a savage veteran. Virgil Ortiz will be up about the 4th or 5th fight as they're finalizing the schedule. You'll see him. I'm pretty sure all of Dallas will be out there for him. He's a local fighter. Virgil Ortiz, 18 years old. Actually, hometown is Grand Prairie, Texas, with Grand Prairie High School, where he was a star cross-country runner.
Oh, that's very good. Yeah,
well,
that's a perfect sport for boxers.
He shouldn't have problems going around. It's interesting about Virgil Ortiz, and you talked about the bidding war, the various people that we've known and associated for years that have the blue chip prospects time and time again, they were all after this young man. And in talking to Eric Gomez, the new president of Golden Boy, I asked him a couple of weeks ago, Doug, are you going to make a run at some of these Olympians? And you know the names, Shakur Stevenson,
Right.
Kiko Balderas. And Eric told me bluntly, he goes, you know, Steve, we're certainly interested all the time, but he goes, you know something? I see the young kids we have like Ortiz, Tanahara, Cesar Diaz. He said, Steve, we don't need to overpay for anybody. We like what we have right now.
Well, now the thing is, because of amateur boxing where they took out the headgear, some of these kids are saying, forget risking the cuts, going up against guys in their 30s as an amateur, and let's turn pro and make some money like a fighter like Hector Tanahara.
Yeah, a lot of top amateurs just said, forget about the Olympics.
Tanahara-
That's not necessarily my dream.
Well, not only that, guys, there used to be a time, especially in like 1976 or in 84, that when you were in the Olympic Games as a boxer, you had the greatest star-making vehicle because ABC used to feature it as its main platform, as one of its main sports.
It was primetime network television when they were like 4 or 5 networks.
Right. And then you had a guy by the name of Howard Cosell, really almost as a kingmaker. Now, to our side, guys, there's a little scene going on. There's a fighter again in his camp holding up 2 belts, trying to taunt and get the attention of Canelo Alvarez. I'd love to find out who is that masked fighter. Interesting.
I still think it's Charles Happy.
It might be maybe one of the Charlo brothers. You know, they took the drive down from Houston.
Yeah. And speaking of local fighters, and back to the local fighters that are on this card, it's always important for a promoter to put young fighters who are from neighboring towns, either close by or within the same state, because these young guys will bring the local newspapers from their town to the event, and those reporters also write about the main event and the co-featured fights. So it just helps the publicity of the entire event.
Joel Diaz Sr. working with Virgil Ortiz Jr. Virgil Ortiz spells it V-E-R-G-I-L. That is correct. His dad said he just wanted to be different with the spelling for his son. Virgil Ortiz, 18 years old. There you see the scene around Canelo Alvarez. Keep using the hashtag RingTV. As Vanessa, who's working at Loyola High School. Go Cubs! Right there in the middle of Los Angeles, watching us on Ring TV. Obviously, Canelo fan. Not a Beto Duran fan, but, you know, we'll take that.
There's a lot of those too, though, Beto. Don't be modest.
Don't
Come
sell
on.
yourself short.
Yeah, come on. You're not exactly chopped liver. Come on.
We'll wait to see how the Lakers start off their season before we get some of the fans. Beto Duran, Doug Fisher, and Steve Kim, led by Will Wright. Panda directing right now. Good job getting you that split screen. Luis, well, we'll give him a different last name today. Everybody else involved, a great job by the Golden Boy Media and Entertainment Department. All this behind-the-scenes stuff available on the YouTube page. That's where you can find the excellent mano a mano, the Snapchat, the Instagram, the Facebook, the Twitter, all lit right now. A crack staff, make sure everything is covered for you today, and not just today, but all week long, all the behind-the-scenes stuff. And you'll see right there on Saturday, Virgil Ortiz at AT&T Stadium. That must be a cool feeling. Not only are you just going to be fighting in your hometown, but he's a Cowboy fan. You got to walk in there.
You know, can I just say something? As a young kid, if you're a Dodger fan, to be able to fight at Dodger Stadium, they had fights there years ago, by the way. That's something that you'll never forget in terms of an early fight experience. And just looking at Virgil Ortiz right now on the mitts, boy, I think he's got a lot of offensive tools, Doug. I think he's got power in both hands. And I think he has the ability to hit through people. And I've said this for years, punchers are born, they are not made.
Yeah, you could tell there's power in both hands, and I like his balance and I like his technique. It's interesting, working the mitts, he operates very well from a distance and mid-distance. However, when he fights, it seems like he wants to get right up on his opponent and blast him out, a la the late, great Diego Corrales, one of these tall punchers that doesn't necessarily care to use his height and his reach in there. It'll be interesting to see what style he employs on Saturday.
Virgil Ortiz started fighting at the age of 5. His dad took him, and we mentioned his cross-country background when he was the #1 runner for the Grand Prairie Gophers, Doug. Wow. Now, you do your Sunday workouts with Coach Schwartz. You are at UCLA on Sundays. You periscope it. I watch it. It's pretty cool. I've never seen you run a 4:57 mile.
I did that in high school.
So did Virgil Ortiz.
Okay.
Virgil Ortiz ran a 4:57 mile as a high school senior. He wants to be a teacher cross-country coach after he gets done boxing.
And
right
I ran cross country in high school, and it's a great foundation sport
did
for
too?
other sports because it gives you that stamina, that endurance, and that discipline. You have to be very disciplined in, you know, keeping track of your miles, and you have to log everything. And there's been a lot of fighters. Oh, here's Tattoo. I'll continue this later.
Let's keep talking cross country right now. Let's talk about Mount Sac.
You'd be fighting in your backyard, not just in your backyard, but at AT&T Stadium.
I never thought this day would happen.
Mariachis.
There you go, Sat. Direct, baby.
I went to the Pacquiao Margarito fight, and my dad told me, one day you're going to be fighting here. And, you know, I was like, hey, yeah, thanks, Dad, but it's happening. It happened real fast, too. I'm grateful.
I mean, your second fight in your career, and you're already at AT&T Stadium on an undercard, Canelo Alvarez. What does this mean in your career, and how do you see your career moving with Golden Boy Promotions?
At this rate, I think it's gonna go by really fast. I think everyone's gonna know me by then. I'll get a title shot maybe like in 2 years or 3 years and something like that, and I'll be up there.
Thank you so much, Virgil. Good luck on Saturday, man, in your backyard, AT&T Stadium. I'm proud of you. I'm very happy for you, and boxing fans around the world will know who you are very soon. Virgil Ortiz, Team 10.
All right, Tat, tell the mariachis to turn it back up right now. Mariachi doing a good job. Mexicanísimo show. They're actually in Fort Worth, Texas. They're right here, the official mariachi for all week long. El Mexicanísimo show, putting on a good show, working it right now. We're coming back on camera. That means we got to fix the suit. We got to get suited and booted. Get looking sharp right here. Beto Duran, Doug Fisher, and Steve Kim. I don't know how many ties and shirts we brought, but we packed it. We're ready to go for you all week long. Tomorrow, the final press conference from AT&T Stadium. Friday, the weigh-in from AT&T Stadium. If you're in the Dallas Plex area, go and check it out. It is open to the public. It'll be a cool feature. If you're a Cowboy fan, what a better chance do you have to go inside the stadium when there's nobody there and you don't have to pay the ticket? Get on in. So get on in there. And Virgil Ortiz, get on over here, Virgil Ortiz. We'll get him too. Get him situated. As now I'm getting fired up. Now the tea's kicking in, the honey's kicking in. Canelo's still here. Virgil's gonna get a towel. He's gonna wipe his face, and we're gonna get him all set up. You see Canelo Alvarez still here. You know, true to his word, Doug. He said he was gonna roll around and shake hands take pictures with you, and he's still
It's an important
going
part
on.
of the gig.
All right, 18-year-old Virgil Ortiz. Yeah, Canelo's here, but it's your time right now. How cool is it just working out here?
It's really cool. All my family's out here. I think like half of the supporters are for me, actually.
Yeah, I didn't hear any Virgil chants. Let's start it though. Let's start it right now.
Let's start it.
Yeah. No, you didn't grow up in Dallas, but Grand Prairie, right? How
Yes.
far is that away from here?
It's not that far. It's like a good 10 minutes away.
Oh, okay. So this is your backyard.
Yeah, it's my
man.
backyard.
All right. But to be in this arena, the way it's set up, when you walked in here, you had a big smile on your face. You just get a little workout in there. Is it starting to hit you now? Like, okay, this is the moment.
Yeah, this is it. This is the moment I've been always dreaming for. You know, I've trained my whole life for this since I was 5, and it's finally coming true.
How many interviews have you done this week so far, or just in the weeks building up to this fight?
This week, I think I went to the media training last week, so I've done like a good 5.
And have they written stories about you in the Prairie?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's Grand Prairie.
Grand Prairie, yes.
newspaper, and what's that been like?
It's amazing because I'm getting a lot of exposure. I love it. I see like a lot of fans. They're following me on Instagram. They're Virgil Ortiz, by the way.
No, not by the way. Say it right. Virgil Ortiz?
Virgil Ortiz.
With
Virgil
an E.
with an E. V-E-R-G-I-L. They always spell it wrong with an I.
There you go. Now you grew up here, but you went away to college. I call it college because you moved to Indio, California, trained with Joel Diaz. So you haven't really been here at your home, right? Because you've been away training. Now you're in your second pro fight. Everybody's going to be there for you.
Yes.
You just mentioned it. You told Tat a few years ago you saw Pacquiao and you're like, yeah, whatever. I'm going to be here. Come on now. Let's get serious. Now you're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
How cool is that?
It's really cool. It's really unreal. I went in fighting in the AT&T Stadium. First of all, that's like one of the biggest stadiums in the world. I don't know how it's gonna feel when I walk out, but I'm just gonna try to focus on the fight, and try tunnel vision, you know, and I'll get it done. And once it's all over, then I'll pay attention. I'll realize how big it was.
And for folks who have not seen you fight yet, how would you describe your style?
I can adapt to any style. I can push you back. I can fight inside. I can box you if I want to. I can do anything I want to.
Would you describe yourself as a puncher or a boxer puncher?
I can do both.
And there you see his pro debut. He took on Julio Rodas in July at the Fancy Springs. And Rodas was a tough scrapper. He came with you. You guys went 2.5 rounds, and then you knocked him out in the third. But I remember you telling me, like, oh, I wanted to get rounds in. Like,
Hey, it doesn't look like it, man.
No.
It looks like you wanted to just get it on.
He actually ended in the first round.
Yeah?
In a minute 30.
Oh, that was the first round, right?
Yeah, it was the
That's
first
right.
round.
Oh, this is
But
raw.
he didn't get his rounds in. He got a minute in, almost 2 minutes in.
Box rec is raw. I'm not pointing fingers, but look right there. It said 3, so I'm saying 3. But it was first round. But you getting to know you a little bit. You were a fighter where you could have signed with different promotional companies.
Yes.
Why Golden Boy?
I just feel like it's more of a family, you know. Those other ones, but you know, I think they're more part of the business, and you know that's fine. Boxing is a business, but you know, I want to be treated as a person, not just like another fighter in their promotions.
And you said most of these fans are here for you, though.
Yes.
But you saw Canelo Alvarez being on the same card as him, and you see the experience around him. Not too long ago, Canelo was fighting in a casino. Steve Kim mentioned that Floyd Mayweather fought at 4:30 at one of his early fights. This is you. Can you see yourself being the pay-per-view main event?
Yes, pretty soon. I think within 5 years, I'll be up there.
All right, Virgil Ortiz. Go follow him on Instagram. Virgil, Y, right? No, that's Y is a Y.
Oh, yeah, Y is
I
a
don't
Y.
know. I'm taking Spanish lessons. Virgil Ortiz, make sure you check him out. RingTV.com will be his fight on Saturday. All of Grand Prairie will be there. An exciting fighter. Now, that's not hyperbole. This guy comes to bang, and you can check him out on Saturday. Anthony Yardes, another fighter. Virgil, good luck to you. The Mariachis want to take a picture with you right now. Los Mexicanísimos, they're from Fort Worth. They want to get ready to go, man. Good luck to you. We'll see you Saturday. There you see Anthony Yarde, 7-0, London, England. He'll be our opening bout on Saturday. He has 6 KOs, a big punch in those hands for Anthony Yarde as he's making his way across the pond.
Yeah, speaking of getting rounds in, he has not gone a lot of rounds in his 7 professional fights. I think he's gone 4 rounds once early.
Yep.
And everything else has been like a first or second round knockout.
In his second fight, he went 4 rounds. That was the only one where it wasn't a knockout. And he's fought 3 times this year, Doug. A first round knockout, second round. All of those fights in England. Born in 1991, Anthony Yarde. It'll be the opening bout on Saturday. Check it out on ringtv.com. About 2:20 in the afternoon Central Time, you'll be able to see it.
And he looks very athletic from photos and footage that I've seen. He's very well muscled. Obviously, he's an athletic, powerful boxer puncher.
Robs Montano, appreciate you sending a tweet, and let's hear what Tattoo has to say.
Canelo is amazing. So I love Mexicans.
Hey, he loves Mexicans. Viva Mexico! Mexican Independence Weekend is going down live on HBO pay-per-view, and right now you're going to get a chance to witness the man himself, Anthony Yarde.
Beto Duran, Doug Fisher, and Steve Kim. And we mentioned Vanessa Loyola was watching. Now there's more people in the office watching us. And Canelo Alvarez is still right here at the Gaylord Texan Hotel. Appreciate everybody watching it. Rob Montano agrees with you, Doug. So he's looking for the Hat League crew. Here, good tweet for you. Make sure you send those tweets using the hashtag RingTV. Beto Duran, Doug Fisher, and Steve Kim. And Steve, before a couple fights ago, we were talking about your news and notes. There's a fight coming up with Manny Pacquiao, and we're also the night before though we're gonna have LA Fight Club at the Blasco Theater. You were thinking about going to that one?
Yeah, but you know what? I can't miss Beto and Doug time.
Oh no, no.
It's very special.
You know, I'll be honest with you. There's two fights, November 5th, November 19th, 2 weeks apart in Las Vegas, both on pay-per-view. Bob Arum doing his own production and distribution for the Jesse Vargas-Manny Pacquiao fight. And then you also have the situation taking place November 19th at the T-Mobile Arena with Sergey Kovalev and Andre Ward. Doug, I'll say if you had to go to just one, I think in terms of significance, fighters in their prime, and being just a better matchup, I think November 19th is the easy call for most boxing fans.
Listen, November 5th is the Manny Pacquiao show. And I love Jesse Vargas. I think he's a legitimate welterweight, just won a world title against Saddam Ali, who we're going to see in his comeback bout on Saturday. But he hasn't yet really reached that status in boxing. We've seen Pacquiao. We've seen the Pacquiao show, and we've seen the best of Pacquiao. Really, Pacquiao probably peaked in 2010 when he was fighting at AT&T Stadium, twice that year. On the other hand, Kovalev, right at his prime, right at his peak. He's the man in the light heavyweight division. Andre Ward, very highly regarded, considered a top pound-for-pound fighter. He was the man at super middleweight. Can he become the man at light heavyweight? It's a fight with more significance within the boxing world. Having said that, neither Kovalev nor Ward has the international popularity and celebrity that Manny Pacquiao has.
Speaking of that November 5th card, Beto, Bob Arum is planning to a pretty solid undercard. I believe Nonito Donaire is going to defend his WBO 122-pound title against his mandatory challenger, Jesse Magdaleno. I like that fight. Also, newly minted WBO featherweight title is Oscar Valdez with a big victory back on July 23rd to win the title. I think he's going to get a slot on that undercard.
You're looking at Anthony Yarde, British fighter, Hackney-born knockout menace is what I'm reading in the British papers. And Doug, where has this resurgence in the boxing scene in Britain come from? Because you mentioned how many fighters that they have that are world champions. You have Anthony Joshua, and then you just go down the list and you're like, wait a minute, that guy had, you're right. There's another division. Oh yeah, you're right. Where's this coming from?
It's a number of factors. One of the factors is their amateur program, and when Great Britain knew that they were going to host the 2012 Olympics, they really beefed up their amateur program. But beyond the amateur program, just locally, regionally, they're very strong club fight programs, just like we have in Los Angeles with LA Fight Club for decades. Every little area, whether it's Sheffield or Liverpool, definitely Manchester or what have you, they all have their own little programs. And there's the third factor is the fans. The fans are so loyal. They support the amateur. They support when the youngsters turn pro, and they support them all the way. So it's like they're developed very, very well until they reach that British Commonwealth status, and then finally they graduate into the world-class status.
Anthony Yarde, light heavyweight, hard hitting as he's called. Of course, he's 7-0 with 6 KOs. He better be hard hitting. You're knocking people out, especially in the first and second rounds, most of them. He said, quote, "I'm known as a big puncher because I knocked out so many of my opponents, but my accuracy is lethal." That's another difference, because when you have guys that come in and you knock them out, especially early on in their careers, it's like, okay, who's your opposition? But that's something that you guys have taught me to look for. It's the precision in their punches.
Well, early on, if you have any type of power, you're going to be matched relatively softly for the first dozen or so fights. As I like to say, they're on the house. A better indication of just how legitimate this power is probably will be within a year or two when it gets to fight number 15, 16, and 17, as he starts to get matched up with sterner opposition that's a little bit more durable. This will be my first time seeing him live. I'm interested to see what is the overall skill set with Yarde.
One of the comparisons for Yarde, how about former world champion Nigel Benn?
Wow, okay.
That's
the Dark Destroyer. If
Dark
he's anything like Nigel Benn, who I think should be in the Hall of Fame, one of my favorite fighters of the 90s.
Doug,
late 80s, early 90s.
Doug, expound upon your thoughts on the UK boxing resurgence. I don't know.
Part of it's the promoters.
Well,
they have excellent. Listen, these guys.
Frank Warren has Yarde.
Right. Frank Warren is like Don King, Bob Arum for UK. He's the guy who's been around for decades. He knows the game inside and out. And we also have Eddie Hearn, who's kind of like the new guy on the scene. He's kind of like Golden Boy Promotions. A huge stable, but they know how to develop talent. They keep them active. They also, let's be honest, they know how to work the politics in boxing and work their fighters up the sanctioning organization rankings to get them those world titles.
And the reality is, in the UK, outside of soccer, boxing is still a very big deal.
It's a mainstream sport.
In America, you have the NBA, NFL, NHL, you have other sports, college athletics.
Yeah.
In England, a good, solid title fight that I think may struggle to get 2,000 to 3,000 people in the building in the United States, you'll get 8,000 to 10,000. If you look at a fight like Linares Corolla, coming September 24th. I think in America, you might fill 2/3 of the StubHub Center, as good a matchup as that is.
Right.
Over there in England, you'll have 15,000 to 20,000.
No, they will sell out the Manchester Arena. However many seats are in the arena, there will be butts in those seats, and there will be 1,000 more just standing in the aisles. I've been there. It's packed everywhere.
Yarde came to the sport of boxing around the age of 14. A documentary on Mike Tyson got him hooked. He was more of a soccer player and a track star. He says he ran the 100 in under 11 seconds as a 16-year-old, also a shot putter.
Impressive.
Pro debut, happy to be here. You know, I like Canelo. Hope Smith does very well, gets him, can hopefully beat him. But you know, as we all know, Canelo is a star. So I'm just looking forward to see a good fight. I want to go on and put on a performance on myself. So I'm just happy to be here.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure the fans are going to be looking forward to it. We will know your name. You look like future star potential written all over you, man. Anthony Yarde!
Anthony Yarde. Frank Warren running his career right now, London, England. He grew up in Stratford, England. Did the fighter born in 1991. He only had 12 amateur fights because he came to the sport so late that when he started going to these amateur fights, he was knocking people out and like, maybe not. So he turned pro in 2015, a second round knockout. And we'll be catching up with him in moments. But you go back to him, that's the athleticism that he has. Sprinter, shot putter, soccer player. So you see that.
Right.
And he said the first time he ever got in a fight, at the age of 12, somebody tried to rob him. He knocked out that would-be thief.
The natural power, so the sprinting lets you know he's got the quick twitch speed. The shot put lets you know he's got the physical strength and the power. And obviously being a soccer athlete, he's going to have some coordination.
Without a doubt, Anthony Yarde, that'll be the opening bout on Saturday. Make sure to Golden Boy pay-per-view to get the pay-per-view for Saturday. The early prelim fights will be available on Ring TV. That'll be myself, Doug Fisher, and Steve Kim. As Anthony Yarde making his way over to the desk right now. How you doing, Anthony? There you go, man. You need a towel?
Pleasure to meet you.
There you go. Get a towel if you need that, man. Put the headset on. There you go. Take your time, man. No rush here. No rush right now. There you go. Sit the headset on. Now, actually turn it around the other way. There you go. Turn it around here. Bam, bam, bam. There we go. Get that microphone up. How do you say your name the proper way?
Anthony Yard.
Anthony Yard. All
Not
right.
Yarday.
I apologize
No,
for saying Yarday. Look at big old letters right here. Anthony Yard. Reading about you, you grew up playing football or soccer, as they say in the United States, right? It's really football, right? So who's your team?
Arsenal.
Arsenal's a fan. Okay. Sprinter. You're a shot putter.
Yeah.
Only 12 amateur fights, and the United States are going to see you for the first time. I'm reading. You have a lot of power, and you're lethal. How do you describe your style?
My style is more of trying to counter punch, pressure fight, protect myself at all times, good defense, good power, good speed, and excitement.
Exciting fighter. Your last 3 fights, first round knockout, second round knockout, second round knockout. Do you go in there looking for that knockout?
No, not necessarily. I like the knockout. If it comes, it comes. If it don't, it's boxing. It don't always come. The main thing is getting the win. The best fashion to get the win is a knockout. It's exciting. So I do try. If I can see an opponent hurt, I won't mess around. I will try and finish him. But if it's not there to present itself, I'll just box and just try and keep myself safe and try and do the job.
Beto says you've been compared to Nigel Benn.
Yeah.
Is that true? And if so, does that put a lot of pressure on you as a young fighter?
Not at all. I think the comparison comes from me being from Ilford. That's where I live now. He lived in Ilford as well, and he also had an impressive knockout ratio as well.
But he did look for the knockout.
Yeah,
he
exactly.
was crazy.
All the time, all the time.
Yeah, he really was.
What was the nickname?
The Dark Destroyer.
The Dark Destroyer.
I just love hearing you say that.
Ben was one of my favorite fighters, and it was because of Nigel Benn I paid attention to boxing in the UK going back to the late 80s, and it's been captivating ever since. It's a lot to live up to, but not having that amateur background, do you feel that you're at any sort of disadvantage from these fighters who started boxing when they were 5 years old and had 200 amateur bouts?
Sometimes, that can cross your mind, but I try and get that out of my head. I believe in my skills. I believe in how hard I work as well. And sometimes, most of the time, you reap the benefits of your hard work. So my focus is to just keep working hard, keep a level head, keep my feet on the ground, don't get all excited about publicity and things like that. I've only had 7 fights. This is my 8th fight. It's a big thing to be fighting under the Canelo card in America as my first American debut. I'm just happy to be here. I just got to keep myself focused and do my job.
You come across the pond for the first time ever. Okay, some guys come over, they fight. But a Canelo fight at a big football stadium, that's awesome, isn't it?
It's massive. I haven't actually been to the arena yet, or the stadium, sorry. But I'm looking forward to it. I've seen it on TV. I've seen pictures. It looks amazing. So I might even drive up there after this to see how it looks.
You'll be there Thursday. You'll be there Friday. And Saturday afternoon, you can check them out, 2:30 on ringtv.com. There's a camera. Say all your Arsenal fans. You got to say hello to your Arsenal fans, right?
Arsenal, they get to your blood pressure. Because sometimes, you get stressed out if they lose or if they draw when they're meant to win. But, you got to stay true to your fan.
All right, Arsenal, Liam Smith is Liverpool. I got to go find me a team then. All right.
You got to find yourself a team.
You're 7-0. I think I like Arsenal. Anthony Yard is his name. You'll see him on Saturday on Ring TV. Good job. Congratulations. And
Thank you.
There's some fans out here that want to take pictures with you, man.
Yeah. It's good, man. I love Mexicans because they're so supportive.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate
Mexican.
that. Thank you. Doug speaks boxeo.
Okay.
You're saying the right things, though, man.
No, I genuinely mean it.
Keep saying, I love Mexicans. You saw what happened to some of the other fighters.
No, I genuinely mean it. The support they give their fighters, they're diehard fans. I just love the atmosphere they bring. I really love it.
And the broadcasters are good too, huh?
Yeah, fantastic.
Anthony Yard, we'll be checking up with him on Saturday. Make sure you check it out, fight on Ring TV. Where are we going next, Will? I think we have some more fighters coming. Saddam Ali, Yemen background from New York, is making his way into the ring right now at the Gaylord Hotel.
This is Saddam Ali's last fight against Jesse Vargas. This was for the vacant WBO welterweight title. It took place in March of this year in Washington, D.C. Hotly contested bout. It was the boxer against the stalking boxer-puncher. And Ali was doing very well until those overhand rights began to connect. This knockdown was the beginning of the end for Ali. Got up and showed so much heart, lasted a few more rounds, but really that first knockdown spell the beginning of the end for Saddam Ali. In his first loss, he doesn't look like he's taking the loss hard. Looks to be in very good spirits as he makes his way to the ring. And this is a very important step in his comeback. Still young, still considered a 147-pound contender, but he really needs to get back in there, get back on the horse, and be active.
I think that's one of the biggest drawbacks of Saddam Ali's career, is that there have been years where he'd only fought twice. In 2015, he only fought once. I have to wonder if that was a factor going into his title shot against Jesse Vargas.
And Saddam Ali is a fighter, an Olympian. The inactivity, though, Doug, because when you see these Olympians coming through, and Ali is a little bit older than the normal Olympians, but you see him, you want to get him fast-tracked. You want to get him in there, but there were setbacks, whether it was an opponent falling out or the inactivity. You can't have that, and we saw it that night against Jesse Vargas.
Yeah, I'll say I think part of the problem with Ali is when he turned pro, he had ambitions of sort of being his own promoter.
Yep.
And I think he learned after a few years, no, you know what? You need to sign with a solid promotional company that's going to keep you active. Activity is so key. And it's funny. I actually forgot that he was a U.S. Olympian. I forgot.
Yeah.
He made the 2008
Yes, he did.
Olympic. I totally forgot about it.
One of the factors of his inactivity, coming into that fight with Jesse Vargas, he was on a nice run, scoring solid victories over Francisco Santana and a pretty highly regarded Louis Abregu. But with the WBO welterweight situation where Tim Bradley didn't understand or didn't have a real definitive plan at that point, whether he was going to defend the title, then he got the Manny Pacquiao fight, and then Paco Valcarcel of the WBO had a problem. He had already mandated that Saddam Ali, I guess, was going to be the mandatory challenger. Well, once Bradley got the Pacquiao fight, well, let me say one thing. Belts are important. They're not as important as $4.5–5 million guarantees. So that actually backed up the process of the vacant WBO title, and then Jesse Vargas stepped in Bradley's place. That's why that fight took so long to be consummated.
Saddam Ali, Brooklyn, New York, 22-1, 13 KOs. He takes on veteran Saul Corral from Agua Prieta, Mexico, 21-7. And Doug, that fight for Saddam Ali against Jesse Vargas was an interesting one because a lot of people had Ali winning up until that stoppage.
I thought it was nip and tuck. I thought both guys were employing their particular styles very well, and I thought it was up for grabs until that overhand right crashed on the side of his head, and from that point on, Vargas took over.
Saddam Ali has always reminded me a little bit of Amir Khan. Very fast, quick, good skills, but punch resistance I think is a little bit below average. I think in that fight, Doug, first 5 rounds I thought he had built the lead, but from rounds 5, 6, 7 on, I thought he had problems more and more stopping that overhand right of Jesse Vargas. And I think Vargas figured out one thing. Although he's not a great puncher, he was the better puncher on that night, and I thought he hit through Saddam Ali.
Well, he had the better timing, and part of that is, we go back to it, activity. Yeah. Vargas was coming off, 12 rounds with Timothy Bradley. That was a huge confidence booster for him. Stepped up to sort of the elite level, so he had great confidence, but he also had those 12 rounds, recent 12 rounds, under his belt going into this huge opportunity. And I like the comparisons to Amir Khan. I would say Amir Khan, faster, flashier, maybe a little bit more pop on the end of his punches. Saddam Ali, technically more sound, I think, than Amir Khan, which should speak well to his future.
And in the background there is his trainer, Andre Rozier, best known for being the corner man of one Danny Jacobs.
That's right, there he is. Keep using the hashtag RingTV, just like Sal817 is using it. Sal is inside the building taking pictures of us, tweeting us, using the RingTV. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Sal.
That's what happens when you watch the day before.
Yes.
You learn. We are instructing the boxing fan. Also, LA boxing fan, a good friend of mine, taking care of the CHP in Southern California. He is not working today, so we're good. If you ever need anything CHP related, Dougie,
okay.
he will not set it up. But he does a great job with the department and also in the community outreach and going actually to every single Belasco show. He can get out there. He says it's going to be a good weekend of boxing, and it will. It'll start at 2:30 on ringtv.com. Doug, Steve, and myself will be there on the broadcast, and I'm really excited to see this Anthony Yard fellow we just talked about, especially when he says that he loves Mexican broadcasters. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. But he was smooth the way he talked with us, wasn't he? He has that calm confidence about him.
Generally speaking, your British fighters are they do really well in your British and Irish fighters. They're always a good interview. Very thoughtful, very genuine. That also comes across very well.
You know, I think Yard A could do much worse.
It's just Yard.
Yard.
Yep.
Okay.
That's our lad. He taught us how to say his name.
Yeah, you know, the interesting thing about him being with Frank Warren may not be the biggest promoter in Britain currently. I think that designation has to be given to Eddie Hearn in Matchroom Boxing. But you look at Warren's history developing Joe Calzaghe, Ricky Hatton, Prince Nassim Hamed. And I believe he was one of the promoters for the Nigel Benn fight against Gerald McClellan. This guy knows how to develop a young prize fighter.
Absolutely.
Saddam Ali turned pro in 2009 after the Olympics, and you were mentioning, Doug, how he wanted to be his own promoter. It wasn't until 2013 when he signed on with Golden Boy Promotions. And the tape done right there.
Boxing is a tough business to do it all on your own. There have been very few fighters who could do that from their pro debut. I think
one guy,
Sugar Ray Leonard, is the only one I could think of.
Sugar Ray Leonard had Mike Traynor, the high-priced attorney out of D.C. And again, this a different time and circumstance. Ray Leonard came out of the 76 games a microwavable star and was basically given...
He was already a household name.
Right, and so it's much different. I remember a lot of Saddam Ali's fights from 2009 to about 2011. Actually fought under the main events banner a little bit. Now, here's the difference between being a promoter at a certain level like Oscar was at the end of his career. When you're doing one or two big events, that's different. Now, if you're a young fighter and you need to fight 5, 6, 7, 8 times a year, Doug, there's no mom and pop operation in boxing outside of like a club promoter that actually has the wherewithal or the infrastructure to do such a thing so often.
Well, look at the LA Fight Club that Golden Boy Promotions puts on the first Friday of every single month. Just to get 8 fights is hard, especially because you have some of the younger kids who all of a sudden their opponent doesn't get on the plane to show up. And then they do it 2 weeks later at the Fancy Springs Resort and Casino. So our digital team has to break down and get ready. It's clockwork. I can't even imagine doing that as a pro fighter.
What people don't know about this glamorous world of professional boxing, I think the toughest job, and the one that you couldn't wish on me, is Matchmaker. Because I got to tell you, there's so many times I will call, whether it's Brad Goodman at Top Rank, Jolene Mazzone at Main Events, and of course Robert Diaz here at Golden Boy. Sometimes you just want to ask them a general question a day or two before the fight for a story, Doug. And these guys sound like they're in the emergency room or about to have a heart attack because some 6th-round guy failed his medicals, and they got to get a new guy out there. And all of a sudden,
visa problems, or he's 10 pounds overweight.
Right,
there's always something.
And their night's plans goes right out the window. It's often very, very frustrating to be able to find somebody on short notice. It's a very difficult process. That's why I think that Saddam Ali, I thought it was very interesting that he came out of the gate trying to, in essence, be his own promoter.
Well, also, you mentioned the matchmaking. Javier Razo helps out Robert Diaz with Golden Boy. I've seen him at times where we go somewhere, and he turns on his phone, and it's, and it's the fighter who, I missed my flight. I got the flu all of a sudden. And he's not a TV guy, but it'll be the undercard, and by the commission, you have to have a certain amount of rounds to have a show.
Beto, last week there was a bright young prospect that fought at the Forum. His name is Ryan Bluechip Martin. Now, he was supposed to fight an opponent, and I'd say about 72 hours before the fight, they didn't know if he was going to fight or not because the original opponent got to LAX and was turned away at customs. So those are the type of things that you will face on a regular basis at this 6- and 8-round level.
We didn't have that. We had that fight once, right? Steve Claggett.
Yeah, absolutely.
Canadian was supposed to fight Alan Sanchez. We were in Salinas a year ago.
The day before the fights, we were doing fighter interviews with him after the weigh-in, and it was news to us. We still thought that Claggett was fighting in the main event. They're like, no, Claggett's trapped in Canada.
In customs purgatory, that's where he was at. And it's like, and then they still found Sanchez in a point. It's nothing you. Well, we just saw this recently. Golden Boy, young fighter, Conde Cesar Gomez, San Diego.
All set to fight.
He actually weighed in.
Yeah.
The opponent didn't pass. So it's just a tough business. So that's something you don't ever want to get into, the world of matchmaking. Good luck to those of you that do it. You guys do a great job doing it. Right now we're watching Saddam Ali, Brooklyn, New York, 2008 Olympian. He's 27 years old. He takes on Saul Corral, Agua Prieta, Mexico. 10 rounds in the welterweight division.
And his technique is just so on point. I like watching him work these mitts, even though this is a light workout. You see his footwork, you see his hand-eye coordination.
See the way he pivots and pirouettes and just maneuvers around his his mitt man now, but in the fight time, it's an opponent throwing punches at him, and he does it so well. He's so smooth and fluid with everything.
Bringing in the Golden Boy matchmaker is Roberto Diaz, a big San Francisco Giants fan. You don't have to put your glasses on right now. We don't. You can't see us from here? Oh,
Beto!
And I'm not a heavyweight right now. I know you're looking for a heavyweight. But we were talking about the matchmaking and how hard it is to do. Okay, you can put Canelo, Liam Smith, you know these guys. But once we go in the undercards, how hard is it to keep these young kids with an opponent? As we mentioned it, you've taught us, guys don't get on planes. All of a sudden, guys have the flu or guys get sick. How hard is your job?
Well, I'm not just saying because it is a hard job for real, for any matchmaker. I mean, obviously, for me, but for any matchmaker. I came from LA yesterday, and when I landed here in Dallas, I get the news that Tanahara's opponent had withdrawn with an injury. All the fights are important for our guys to fight. The hardest thing to do as a matchmaker is actually going to the team and saying you're not fighting because I couldn't find you an opponent. I take that very personal.
So Tanahara's not fighting?
But for Tanahara not to fight in his first fight in Texas, this kid, 6-0, has never fought in Texas. He has a lot of people coming. It was very important. But if you see, Thomas Smith is out. Last night, I was able to get Eric Anton. This morning, the commission tells me, you know what? We cannot approve Eric Anton.
Oh.
So back on the phones, and he's fighting a guy with not such a nice record, has a lot of experience. But the most important thing, like I told Hector, he's going to be 4 rounds against a kid named Roy Garcia. And the most important thing is that he can fight in front of his family, his friends, and his Texan people.
Well, Hector Tanahara, 6-0 from San Antonio, Texas. All of his fights have been in California, one in Las Vegas. You sell the tickets, you have everybody coming up, and that's also something as a matchmaker, you take that personal because you want to make sure, you want to get these guys the experience all this.
I want to get them to fight at home because it means so much to now fight at home, especially on a stage like this. It's exciting for them to be fighting at the Dallas Cowboy Stadium. I mean, who knows when that opportunity can come by again, and it's very important. So Hector, Virgil, they will be on the Freeview along with Saddam Ali, and then we'll go into the pay-per-view. So, yes, I mean, sometimes these 4 or 6 rounders, those are the ones that foul the most. Doug, these guys are fighting for a couple $1,000s, so you don't have the most responsible opponent. Sometimes I'm not going to make weight. I don't want to call and tell them.
Yeah.
I just won't show. I just won't show. And
yeah, sometimes they are maybe 15, 20 pounds overweight, but they tell you, oh, I'm about 10 pounds off. I can 2 weeks, I can
make
do
the
it.
weight.
Yeah, I can do it.
And as it comes close, they realize,
oh,
hey, I bit off more than I literally bit off more than I can chew. So you know what? Let me just call and say I got hurt in sparring.
Right.
Let's go, the boy matchmaker Roberto Diaz, one of the best in the business. Actually, you just
Thank
won
you,
an
Beto.
award. I'm not going to name all your awards, but congratulations on the award you won
very
from one of the
much.
sanctioning bodies. When you sign young fighters, right here, everybody's watching right now is going to say, I can fight, I can do this. Roberto, look for me. When people tell you I have a fighter, what do you look for when you sign somebody?
There's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent all over the world. I mean, in the States. But it's not just, obviously the most important thing is, can they fight? That's what's going to keep you going. But I look outside. Do they connect with the fans? Do they have that, personality, that little extra? Not just can they fight. I want to see the whole package. I don't want to see a world champion. I want to see a superstar. And I think with a lot of the young kids that you're going to see on the card, on the undercard, that's one of the reasons they're on, is there's the potential of tomorrow's world champions, but also tomorrow's stars.
Some of the kids, you mentioned Hector Tanahara, Virgil Ortiz. How excited are you for the, Doug mentioned it where President Eric Gomez said, we don't really need to go after some of these Olympians that are coming out because you have your own stable of guys who probably could have been Olympians.
A lot of the young kids that we've seen on the Estrella right now coming up, one that comes to mind, Genaro Gomez, there's something about the kid. There's something there that he brings this, as he's walking out to the ring, something special. He could have been an Olympian. There's Virgil Ortiz, Tanahara, all these kids. But now with the changes and the no headgear and the possibility of starting getting cut and the scar tissue and everything at such a tender age, right before the pros, without that money, is it really worth the risk? And a lot of the fathers or coaches said, you know what, let's just go pro. I think we do have a very, very special crop of fighters coming up and young fighters and future world champions.
And what's important is
these young fighters have the right people guiding them and training them. So there's also young up-and-coming trainers like Manny Robles Jr., Robert Garcia,
Well, Joel
Joel
Diaz,
Diaz.
he's in his 40s.
The folks, the guys with the Lamont Roach Sr. and
Yes.
the
No
No
Excuses.
Excuses
Yes, the No
Boxing
Excuse.
Club. Is it Bernard Roach?
Yeah, Bernard Roach.
Lamont
and Lamont
Bernard.
Sr.
Yeah, those. I mean, see, and these guys are up and coming as trainers. They're not like Freddie Roach level yet, but they're on their way.
They're
and they
hungry.
know. Yeah,
They're hungry. They want to make a name for themselves as well.
Yeah.
Coach Kelly with Zachary Ochoa.
Yep.
You know, all these guys, they want to go out there and say, look, I'm here too. Because there's the most famous, and then there's a lot of very good coaches out there that are getting there.
The main event on Saturday, Canelo Alvarez, Liam Smith. What do you expect in that one?
Look, I mean, right now, I'm going to sound like the promoter, but I do expect it. I know we're going to get it. Fireworks while it lasts. Liam Smith is undefeated. He's a world champion. He wants to make a name for himself. How do you do that? You beat the superstar of boxing, Canelo Alvarez. He comes away with a victory. He's a hero back home, and he's going to be a star here. He has a big task, obviously, but nothing's impossible. Mike Tyson got stopped by Buster Douglas. Sugar Ray Leonard beat
Smith
Hagler.
is not going to hand that WBO title to Canelo. He's not going to do that.
Exactly.
Like I said earlier, UK boxing is at an all-time high. There's so much pride. They have so much pride that they have so many major world title holders. They don't want to lose it. They really don't. It means so much, and it's bigger than themselves and their own boxing club. It's about their entire country.
They're fighting for a country, and in Canelo, you have
It's
another
always like
fighter
that.
fighting for a country. You know, it's not just, oh, I'm fighting for me or for my family.
Right.
They have a country behind them. That gives them that extra motivation, that extra push. We're going to have fireworks while it lasts. And I say while it lasts because at the end of the day, I think Canelo, his level, his talent, and everything will surpass what Liam's heart can provide.
Last one for you, Joseph Diaz Jr., Diego De La Hoya making their pay-per-view debuts. You got to smile. Usually, guys you brought up from the club shows, now they're pay-per-view. Como que un padre, you have orgullo for these guys, right?
You know what? That's what makes the job worthwhile. Losing the opponents, having sleepless nights, you know, pulling the hair, growing the white on the beard.
It's very distinguished, though.
All of a sudden, most interesting matchmaker in the world.
This is, at the end of the day, what makes it all worthwhile. We got Diego De La Hoya as a pro debut, Joseph Diaz as a pro debut, and today, on Saturday night, they'll be on their pay-per-view.
And they'll be in tough, too.
They'll be in exactly.
They'll be
They're
good
both
fights.
they're probably their toughest fights to date.
I think definitely.
Yep. But they're not just fighting on any network that fans don't know. This is pay-per-view. This is the biggest stage. They're fighting at Dallas Stadium, Cowboy. Now, the world's going to know who these two kids are. Obviously, they need to win. But if they win, sky's the limit.
HBO pay-per-view on Saturday. Also, if you're a cord cutter, you can go to Golden Boy pay-per-view and get that pay-per-view to check out tomorrow's superstars, as Roberto Diaz calls them. Roberto Diaz, Golden Boy Matchmaker. We'll be back with more in Dallas, Texas on Ring TV.
Los cinturones aquí se hacen a un lado. Hay que pelear por honor y por gloria nada más.
I've got a style like your length, you know, there's no messing about.
At the Media Center, Canelo Smith Week, and it is brought to you by Adriana's Insurance, the insurance you need at a price you can afford. Go to Adriana's Insurance for your quote today. Joined now by 2008 Olympian Saddam Ali, 22-1, 13 KOs. How cool was just this environment, man?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I can tell we're going to have so much people out there at the fight, and it's going to be electrifying.
You're coming off a loss to Jesse Vargas. How has this camp been for you?
Oh, it's been great. It's time to come back. You know, sometimes you got bumps in the road, and you just learn from them. And I'm just ready to come back strong.
We talked about inactivity in your career. We're looking at your record, and we noticed, okay, 2012, you only fought twice. 2013, you only fought twice. 2015, just last year, you looked great against Francisco Santana, one of the toughest cats out there at welterweight. But that was your only fight last year. Was that a factor? Was inactivity, particularly the inactivity in 2015, did that have a factor in the fight with Jesse Vargas?
I believe it played a part. I'll be lying if I say no. I always think I'll be good, regardless of the big lapse between the fights. But I take nothing away. I should have still won that fight. You know, sometimes it just doesn't happen for you, and for there it didn't. Just back to the drawing board.
You're a boxer. You rely on hand-eye, foot-eye coordination, your timing.
Right.
I mean, timing is everything for a boxer who likes to operate on the outside. Is activity more important to you than somebody like a Francisco Santana, who's like strong, just going to come forward and ball a guy?
Well, you have different types of fighters. You have fighters that are going to come in. You got fighters that are going to move. You know, I'm one of those fighters that can actually do both. You just got to know when to do it.
That's true.
Saddam Ali, Brooklyn, New York. You can check him out on the free view Saturday from AT&T Stadium. You can still go to goldenboypayperview.com to get the pay-per-view. You can hear the Colonel Bob Sheridan and Larry Merchant, Hall of Famers, going and describing the action. For the people who have never seen you fight, though, what is your style?
My style, I would say, is mixy. It depends on that night. It depends on what's working and what's not. Like I said, I'm the type of fighter that has power and also has speed. I can come forward, or I can give you the move around. I can do it all. But I'm not a boring fighter. I like to be.
No, you're not boring.
Yeah.
I know that.
I like to be exciting. You know, sometimes it could put people in danger. You know, to
you
to
keep
fight
the announcers
like
on your toes, man. Your last, I was like, okay, all right. You always got to keep an eye on what Saddam Ali is doing. He takes on Saul Corral, Agua Prieto, Mexico, 21-7. It'll be a good bounce back fight for you. What do you expect?
Right. Well, he is Mexican, so you know he's tough. So he's gonna be coming forward. I would guess. You know. But I'm ready. You know, I've been in training camp, and this is my comeback fight, and I'm ready to prove that I'm still to be reckoned with.
Being a combat fight, is there anything in particular that you want to display in this comeback fight? Is there anything that you wanted that you've been working on based on your last fight, going into this fight, that you want to improve on or showcase?
I just want to prove, if there's people out there that think I'm not great, you know, I want to prove that I am great, and sometimes you just, everything doesn't go your way, and I just want to show that I can still be one of the best.
Feel like you have to put on a show to shut some people up?
I don't feel like I have to, but
you're going to.
I would like to. You know, so that's the plan.
Saddam Ali, look, they're watching you back home right there. All the Yemen fans, all the people from Brooklyn, you got to take care of them. Send your shout-outs out, man.
Yeah, I mean, to all my fans. I got all fans. That's why I'm the World Kid Ali. No race, no color, it doesn't matter. Everybody. And I'm just a humble guy. You know, people love me, and that's what I love about myself. This is not an act. This is just the way I am. But I'm a fighter, you know, and it's either me or you. So we got to fight. But I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, everybody who supports me, and just be ready for Saturday night. It's going to be a great night.
What's your social media, man? You got to plug that.
Oh, yeah, social media. Yeah. The Instagram is The World Kid Ali, and Twitter is Real World Kid Ali.
Saddam Ali, check him out Saturday on ringtv.com. Good luck to you, man. Go take some pictures, man. The fans are waiting for you out here.
Selfies are waiting.
You're World Kid, right? You take pictures with everybody.
Everybody.
Hector Tanajada, the fighter from San Antonio, Texas, 19 years old, is making his way in to the media center. Trained by Robert Garcia, and there you see him. That was against Clay Burns, a tough fighter out of New Orleans. We call that one in Fantasy Springs.
Was Burns the only guy to go the distance with
Yes,
him?
sir.
He was a very cagey cat. Very strange style, as you see.
But Tanajada did not stop moving.
Yeah, and we saw a lot of patience and poise from the 19-year-old in this fight.
Tanajada
scores a
6-0.
knockdown with a left hook to the body, I believe it was.
Yeah, he's 6-0 with 4 KOs with 2 fighters. Jose Martinez, the other one that went the distance, but I think that was a fight where Martinez was staying away from him. There you see El Finito. The nickname, because Finito, it was his favorite fighter
Benito,
growing up.
Ricardo Lopez,
Ricardo
Hall
Lopez.
of Famer.
Former strawweight and junior flyweight champion.
All right, we got to teach Hector this. When you come in your own state, you got to walk a little slower. This is why we do these things, right, Hector Tanajada? And I know everybody in San Antonio is watching you. His dad behind him in the camouflage, Tanajada Sr. You take the stride like just like when Lee Smith would come out of the bullpen, Steve. You have an hour and a half. You want to go and you take your time, take every picture, because, you know, when people are snapping you, you don't want to get blurred. You want to get a good one. His stablemate, Joshua Franco, will also be working out with him. You see El Finito Hector Tanajada in the ring. Joshua Franco, action from him. He's actually 21 years old, from San Antonio, trained by Robert Garcia.
He's a lot of fun. This is the little guy in Robert Garcia's stable. He is a junior bantamweight, maybe a bantamweight, so 115 to 118 pounds. Started his career more of a boxer, more of an amateur style, where he's on his toes from a distance. But fight by fight at the Belasco Theater, we've seen this guy evolve into a really good infighter with decent power.
His nickname is the Professor because he wears the glasses. And as you know this, when you walk into a gym, immediately you're given a nickname, whether you like it or not. That he walked into the gym, the Robert Garcia Boxing Academy, and they saw him with the glasses. They didn't think he was a fighter. Said, man, you don't look like a fighter, you look like a professor. And the name has stuck. 20 years old, fighting for the first time in his home state of Texas, also from San Antonio. A lot of fans here for him and Hector Tanajara. So when you're youngster, when you're new, you still have a credential around your neck when you walk into the ring. Soon, Joshua Franco, Hector Tanajara, you don't need those. That's Canelo, who just walks in with a shirt of his own name. Beth Duran. Doug Kim. I was trying so hard.
Don't worry, everybody does it, man.
Beth Duran, Doug Fisher, and Steve Kim, led by Will Wright tonight. How you feeling, Steve? You keep bouncing around.
Third wheel, but it's good. These two young men, well, let's go to Bet. Let's go to Tattoo first.
They've been working with Robert Garcia, AT&T Stadium, Dallas, Texas. How big is this for you, bro?
It's very big. You know, being a Cowboys fan, I always wanted to go to the stadium. I haven't been to the game, so.
You're gonna fight there, right?
Yeah, fighting there is, you know, a dream come true, and hopefully I want to sell it out too one day.
You've been making some big noise. You've been having some great wins. Everything going well with Golden Boy Promotions. How do you see your future playing out? What would you like for the future of Hector Tanajara Jr.?
Hopefully become a world champion, you know, if everything goes right.
Ladies and gentlemen, undefeated San Antonio, Texas. Other San Antonio, Texas fighter here, AT&T Stadium. Same question, man. Just what's this like for you in your career right now at such a young age, with such a young career right now?
It's a good feeling. You know, it's an amazing feeling. It's a blessing to be on a card like this. Just can't wait to show my skills.
Robert Garcia Boxing Academy. Both you guys train together. How's that going?
It's going good. You know, growing up with him since the amateurs, you know, we even fought a couple of times, and to be here together, it's a blessing and it's exciting.
I don't know, possible future fight between Franco and Tanajara. You never know, man. You never know. The future is here. Golden Boy Promotions, Hector Tanajara Jr., Joshua Franco. Thank you guys so much. Good luck, AT&T, Dallas, Texas. Golden Boy Promotions. Thank you.
As Tattoo is now trying to be a matchmaker. Well, Javier Razo and Roberto Diaz always need help. Tat always has a fun time inside that ring. Knows those fighters very well, especially out of the Robert Garcia Boxing Academy. Hector Tanajara, the taller fighter, 5'10", 130 pounds. And Joshua Franco, the bantamweight. Franco, the shorter fighter, the professor with the glasses. You know what I've noticed, and I love this about the young kids, that are the prospects.
They've all got their own logo and T-shirt.
Yeah, they got their logo, they got their shirt.
It's all a combination of the first letter of their first name and the first letter of the last name.
In this social media age where you can have 10,000 followers without ever having a professional fight,
that's true.
Where you can give yourself the most outrageous nicknames and then you can get discovered and you never know, you might end up on a card. Why not do it? And there you see two fighters, Hector Tanajara, highly touted amateur, traveled all over Europe as an amateur and fighting for the United States, representing the United States. And this is a fighter who a lot of people were after him, promoter-wise. Decided to go with Golden Boy, also did Joshua Franco, and they're living in Riverside, California with Robert Garcia. And there's a nice stable mate that he has there, Steve, where you have these two fighters. You also have Jonathan Navarro in there, and Garcia, another one. You mentioned Joel Diaz moving on after Tim Bradley. Garcia has moved on after Brandon Rios, and he has these young kids.
And what a lot of these newer trainers are doing, or the established ones, to really protect themselves contractually, they're not just training them, they're actually part of the management team. They got a piece of the contract. The unfortunate reality is the people that are the most unprotected in this sport are not the fighters, it's really the trainers. And so in order to prevent being left high and dry and providing their own safety net, they've gotten into the managerial aspect of this game. Speaking of Tanahara, I had a chance to speak to his father after one of the fights at the Fantasy Springs about 3-4 months ago. And he made it a point that as a father, he understood that for his son to truly grow, he had to go out from the nest, away from San Antonio, and get some real professional training and work with other professional fighters. And it really is a welcome change because, let's face it, Doug, we've seen a lot of stories where the father really tries to make the son their living. And it really, oftentimes, I think it really stunts the growth of young fighters.
Oh, no, it's ruined some careers.
And it's also ruined the father-son relationship where
which is really sad.
They no longer talk. Or there you see, actually, that's the ball man right there. Oh, we had him zoomed in, but that was Joshua Franco's father. And Franco has a younger brother that nicknamed Bam. Kid can hang. He can bang around. He's 16 years old. And Bam Rodriguez actually down in San Antonio. I know you're watching this, and let me talk about you. A kid who highly touted amateur. Is talk of he's homeschooled because he goes to so many different tournaments around the country and around the world that there's talk of maybe taking him down to Mexico as a pro because he's 16 instead of waiting around a couple more years in the amateurs and risk with those headbutts or the cuts that you have him.
What weight class is he?
He's actually, I think he's 122, I believe. Okay. He's a brother of Joshua Franco. Hector Tanahara, a lot of fans in San Antonio. When we talk to him, we'll make sure to mention that he is no longer a Spurs fan. He's become a Laker fan since he moved to LA. And I won't say that to him because he'll forget about that.
I think he got the short end of the stick on that deal, I'll be honest, Beto.
Exactly. But two real good kids that Golden Boy really high on, good prospects, come in and work. And these fighters, you'll see them Saturday on ringtv.com. They'll be on that part of the broadcast. That gets going about 2:20. Thanks to everybody sending the tweets. Jose Vitela in East Los Angeles. Appreciate you as always. Everybody else. Sal Carrillo, excellent restaurant in South Central Los Angeles. There you see El Finito, Joshua Franco, Beto Duran, Doug Fisher, and
synchronized swimming, synchronized shadow boxing.
They actually have incorporated swimming into their workouts. Robert Garcia, they take them in the morning, they go swim or run. Swimming is, Steve, I remember you telling me that Miguel Cotto incorporated swimming instead of doing the road work.
With Gavin McMillan, the belief is with older fighters with a lot of wear and tear that have already put in 30-plus fights, plus the age of 32, 33. In fact, Miguel Cotto does very little running nowadays. In fact, most of his cardio work is done on the spinning cycle. And Gavin McMillan, for years, who trains other athletes, namely in the MMA like George St. Pierre, they do a lot of swimming. In fact, low impact, but you could still build up cardiovascular endurance with such regimens.
You can actually build muscle with swimming as well. So you get the stamina and you get the physical strength. But it's great that guys like Hector Tanahara are getting the Ring TV live streams wherever they fight. But it's so important to eventually bring these guys back to their home state of Texas because this is such a big market for boxing. Golden Boy will continue to put on shows here, and you want to cultivate the hometown or at least the home state fan base for these guys.
Every single fight that Golden Boy Promotions does, the Golden Boy Media and Entertainment Department puts it on their YouTube page. So if you want to see footage of Hector Tanahara fighting at the Belasco Fantasy Springs or even when he fought in Las Vegas, you can check that out all live on the YouTube page. Also, go to the Golden Boy YouTube page and check out Mano a Mano, voiced by the legend Michael Buffer. You'll see the road to Canelo and Smith, a cool 30-minute feature brought to you by the Golden Boy Media and Entertainment Group. We'll be back with more interviews from Dallas, Texas. You're watching Ring TV.
Los cinturones aquí se hacen a un lado. Hay que pelear por honor y por gloria nada más.
I've got to spar like you're learning to, there's no messing about.
Available now, the new Tecate Bold Punch app. Experience the Canelo's meat fight like never before. During the fight, keep track of the action as your phone vibrates every time Canelo lands a bold punch. Also get exclusive behind-the-scenes video. photos? And live streams throughout Fight Week only available on the Tecate Bold Punch app. Download now from the App Store for both Android and iPhone devices.
Alvarez is 26 with 50 fights. This will be his 50th fight.
There's not many things that put fear me or scare me. I was always myself fighting in school and stuff like that.
Alvarez, golden boy, made a huge mistake here. I think we'll have the right man to do the job and take the crown away from Saddam Alvarez.
Yo quería ser boxeador desde la primera vez que vi pelear a mi hermano y es algo que me apasiona hasta el día de hoy.
Inside the media center at the Gaylord Texan Hotel, Canelo Smith headquartered. And Canelo Smith is presented by Tecate, born bold. Download the new Tecate Bold Punch app from the App Store today. Tecate, one of the best sponsors around, bringing you all the action you need for Canelo and Smith. You see that huge inflatable Tecate can? No, you can't drink it, especially when you have a fight coming up. Don't even think, you're not even 21. You can't even drink no beer. Don't think about that. Both, wait, you're 20?
20.
Yeah, don't even think about beer. It's bad for you. You're a fighter. Beto Duran, Hector Tanajara Jr., and Joshua Franco, they get going on Saturday. Now, this is cool for you guys being San Antonio kids. And how far is San Antonio from here? What?
4 hours.
About 4 hours. In Texas, everybody just drives, right? You guys don't fly?
Just drive. We don't
All
fly.
right. But this is going to be your first fight in your home state of Texas. You fought in California, all over there. You actually fought in Las Vegas. How cool is it to be home and have that Tex-Mex food?
Man, I love the food here, but no. But no, it's different, you know, fighting in Texas. Your family gets to come, like you said, we don't fly anywhere. We drive, so they get to come out here, and it's a different, more family support.
And I know for you, it's even more special because your younger brother could come up talking about Bam Rodriguez, but you guys live in Riverside. It's like you've gone away to college. For you, how special is this?
Very special because of like you said, all my family that's coming. You know, my brothers. I have a brother that can always make it. I have an older brother, and he's coming for this fight, and just can't wait. It's exciting.
Hector Tanajara Jr., you at one point were probably on that track to maybe go to the Olympics if you would have gone to those big-time tournaments. Age of 18, you decided to turn pro. Why?
Just felt like it was the best decision I could make, and I turned out being right. You know, they chose the Olympian before the Olympic trials, and I had qualified for the Olympic trials. So I just knew something was going to happen, and I ended up making the right decision. If I wouldn't have, I would have just been playing the waiting game, you know, waiting to be the Olympian and wasted like half a year.
Yeah. You fought, what countries have you fought in?
Fought in Serbia, Finland, and Russia.
Serbia, Finland, and Russia. And Josh, you've also traveled all over the United States, some crazy countries, haven't you?
Yes, sir. Yo, I've been to Poland, and I fought against Kazakhstan.
See, these aren't just your normal young fighters. It's, okay, we fight in Los Angeles, cool. Vegas, cool. You go to Kazakhstan, you go to Poland, you go to these different countries. What's it like when you go overseas?
Oh, man, it's places I've been to, little like third world countries, you know. Whenever I first went to Russia and I came back, it made me appreciate all the food I had here, and just having my family, I just appreciated things more.
You, Josh?
It's different. The food's different. The way people are different, but I enjoyed going over there, and then when I came back, I kind of want to go back and experience it again.
For people who've never seen you, Hector, what is your style? You're 6-0 4 KOs, but you're more of a polished fighter than your record indicates.
Yeah, I feel I'm more polished, but I think I'm a boxer puncher. You know, I love to box. You know, use my reach, my body, my length, and if I have to, you know, bang too. If I have to.
Now you, as a fighter, what are you fighting at this one?
118.
118. So you were watching Chocolatito with a close eye on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
The young guy, the smaller fighters don't get the respect they do. Everybody loves the 130-pound tall kids, right? But your division, you guys come out and hit hard, don't you?
Yeah, yes, sir.
What do you expect in your fight Saturday?
Just gonna, what I always expect, go in there, box smart, fight smart, and if I hurt the guy, I'm taking him out.
You hear how young he is? He's 20 years old, keeps calling me sir, even though I'm only 24. There you go. Cowboy Stadium, you're a Cowboy fan?
Sir.
Oh, that's right, you're San Antonio. You guys don't have a team down there, right?
No, we don't got a team.
But you live in LA. You're a Rams fan now.
I don't. Nah,
Yeah,
I'm still
you're
a
a Rams
Cowboys
fan now, right?
I don't really watch football,
What?
but I go for the Cowboys since I don't know.
Yo, you're like me. You're bandwagon. Whoever wins, that's your team. So you're a Cowboys fan, legit.
Yeah.
So you're excited for Saturday.
Sure. Yep.
Have you ever been to that stadium?
Nope. First time.
So first time you ever see this stadium as a Cowboy fan, and you're walking in, and there's gonna be people cheering you on. That must be cool, man. Did you ever dream something like that?
Yeah. When Pacquiao and Margarito fought, I dreamed of hopefully fighting there one day, and it's coming true. And hopefully, I want to be like Canelo, sell it out too.
All right, now that you guys live in LA, Robert Garcia, the Bottles takes care of everything out there. You guys are now Laker fans, right? You gave up on the Spurs?
No, not.
They will eventually. If they want to be pay-per-view, they'll become. They're not going Hollywood. They're big time. Hector Tanajada Jr., what is your social media? Plug it, man.
At Hector_Tanajada, Twitter, Instagram.
There you go, Professor.
Joshua Franco _1 on Instagram and Joshua Franco _ on Twitter.
All right, all your San Antonio people are at the Riverwalk, right? They're at Tierra Mia, wherever they're at.
Yeah,
You got to say what's up to them right now. There you go. Watch them.
What's up, everybody?
Thanks for the support, everybody from San Antonio back home.
And a lot of people coming on Saturday to watch Hector Tanajada Jr. and Joshua Franco. We'll be back with more from the Gaylord Hotel in Dallas, Texas. You're watching Ring TV.
Los cinturones aquí se hacen a un lado. Hay que pelear por honor y por gloria nada más.
I've got to spar like you're learning to, there's no messing about.
Available now, the new Tecate Bold Punch app. Experience the Canelo's meat fight like never before. During the fight, keep track of the action as your phone vibrates every time Canelo lands a bold punch. Also get exclusive behind-the-scenes video, photos, and live streams throughout Fight Week, only available on the Tecate Bold Punch app. Download now from the App Store for both Android and iPhone devices.
Alvarez is 26 with 50 fights. This will be his 50th fight.
There's not many things that put fear me or scare me. I was always myself, fighting in school and stuff like that.
Alvarez, golden boy, made a huge mistake here.
I think we'll have the right man to do the job and take the crown away from Saul Alvarez.
Yo quería ser boxeador desde la primera vez que vi pelear a mi hermano y es algo que me apasiona hasta el día de hoy.
The headquarters for Canelo and Smith all week long from the Gaylord Hotel. And Canelo Smith is presented by Tecate Born Bold. Download the new Tecate Bold Punch app from the App Store today. Cool features on that Born Bold app. Bethel Durant, Doug Fisher, and Steve Kim have the headquarters of Canelo and Smith. They will gearing towards the pay-per-view on Saturday. Go to goldenboypayperview.com and order it for your mobile device, iPad, your Note, whatever it is you want to watch it on. You'll be able to watch it there. Go to Golden Boy Pay-Per-View, and it is live right now. Make sure to go check out all the Golden Boy social medias, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. Great exclusive behind-the-scenes coverage. About an hour and a half ago, we had Canelo Alvarez here at the desk. Canelo didn't work out for the fans, but he did take pictures and did sign lots of autographs. He was here for a good amount of time. And on Saturday, he takes on undefeated Liverpool's own Liam Beefy Smith. And Steve, yesterday we talked to Smith. Today we talked to Canelo. You saw both of them up close. What are your impressions?
I think Liam Smith I don't think is going to be overwhelmed by the moment. He seems to be very calm, and I think, again, it really helps having a hired hand in Joe Gallagher, who's been on the big stage. I think he's the name brand trainer in Britain. He's been in many, many big fights. I also believe that the fact that they were a little bit slow starting in Scott Quigg against Carl Frampton, I think that helps Joe Gallagher approach this fight. If you look at Liam Smith, he's a real legitimate 54-pounder. He's got very good size. The question is, will he come out of his shell and be a little bit more of the initiator offensively, given the fact it may be difficult to win a decision in what is essentially Canelo's home state.
Liverpool's own is 23-0-1. He takes on Canelo Alvarez, but Smith, Doug Fisher, owns a belt that Canelo would like to have.
Yeah, listen, I mean, people say the belts don't matter, but fighters, this is what they dream about from the moment they turn pro. They want to have belts, and all fighters, they dream about being like Evander Holyfield or Marvelous Marvin Hagler or Bernard Hopkins or, you know, Vladimir Klitschko, where they have those pictures and they've got like several belts. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like Gennady Golovkin right now, you know, he's got like 3 or 4 belts, or Sergey Kovalev. He doesn't have just one belt. He's got like a lot of belts, and this is what motivates them. And Canelo's no different. He's a superstar, but if a guy's got a belt, he wants to fight for it. He doesn't just want to beat you. He wants to take that belt, and I don't think it's going to be easy to pry that WBO 154-pound title away from Beefy Smith's hands, because just there's so much pride, and he really believes that he's going to bring something that Canelo's going to have to seriously deal with, and that's his physical strength, that's his pressure, that's his power punching. And what I can't wait to see is once they get in close, who's going to have the better left hook to the body? Because Smith looks like he's got a good one.
That fight on Saturday, main event, 154 pounds. It's scheduled for the weight division. And one thing about Canelo, 4 of his last 5 fights have been at 155 pounds. He didn't work out for the media today, and he showed up. He was scheduled on Sunday. Steve, and you mentioned it, the latest main event fighter has shown up in a long time.
Yeah, especially for a pay-per-view when you are the A side, you're the marquee attraction. It's been 3 full years. It was September of 2013 when he took on Floyd Mayweather at a catch weight of 152. Doug, you've said this for a while. We've done different shows. He's 26, 27 years old. Every fighter eventually grows out of their weight class, and you look at Canelo Alvarez, he's filled out very well, physically very strong, and people will always say it's only a pound. It's only a pound if you have about 18, 19% body fat. If you're below 10, that last pound can and will be excruciating.
I'll say this, though. He didn't look dried out. No. His cheeks didn't look sucked in or anything. Now, we'll see what he looks like on Friday at the weigh-in, but right now, he looked okay. He looked like he was at least close to weight, close to fighting weight, and he didn't seem uncomfortable.
The main event Saturday night, AT&T Stadium, the home of the Dallas Cowboys. Saul Canelo Alvarez, Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, takes on undefeated Liam Beefy Smith, Liverpool, England. We'll be back for more in Dallas on Ring TV.
Los cinturones aquí se hacen a un lado. Hay que pelear por honor y por gloria nada más.
I've got to spar like you're learning to, you know, there's no messing about.
Available now, the new Tecate Bold Punch app. Experience the Canelo's meat fight like never before. During the fight, keep track of the action as your phone vibrates every time Canelo lands a bold punch. Also get exclusive behind-the-scenes video, photos, and live streams throughout Fight Week, only available on the Tecate Bold Punch app. Download now from the App Store for both Android and iPhone devices.
Alvarez is 26 with 50 fights. This will be his 50th fight.
There's not many things that put fear me or scare me. I was always myself fighting in school and stuff like that.
Alvarez, golden boy, made a huge mistake here.
I think we'll have the right man to do the job and take the crown away from Saul Alvarez.
Yo quería ser boxeador desde la primera vez que vi pelear a mi hermano y es algo que me apasiona hasta el día de hoy.
The beautiful Gaylord Texan Resort in Dallas, Texas. That's where we are, the headquarters for Canelo and Smith. Saturday night's main event pay-per-view will be at AT&T Stadium, the home of the Dallas Cowboys. Beto Duran, Doug Fisher, and Steve Kim. Thank you for joining us here at the Media Center. We saw the arrival of Saul Canelo Alvarez, and we saw the workouts for the undercard fighters Saturday from AT&T Stadium about 2:30 Central Time. You can check out the fights on Ring TV. It all starts with the British fighter Anthony Yard. And once again, thanks to David and Scott Tatrell, Executive Vice President and Vice President for the digital side at Golden Boy Promotions, Media and Entertainment. And there you see our crack stat. There he is, the man on the phone, David. That's when you know you're the boss. When the camera's on you and you stay on the phone. And you see Luis, no last name, Christina with the Z, Will Wright in the man in the middle with an awesome jacket that is one of one exclusive. And thanks to everybody there. Brenda, make sure everybody has their PD. Panda, Michael, and the digital side. Great job as always. But we're not done. It's only Wednesday. Thursday, the final press conference from AT&T Stadium. And you can get there. It's open to the fans. Check it out. And Friday, the main event weigh-in. It'll be there. And if you're in the Dallas area, in the Plex area as they call it, go and check it out. 1 o'clock, the doors open at AT&T Stadium. For my partners, Doug Fisher and Steve Kim, I'm Beto Duran. Thank you very much for watching another presentation of the Golden Boy Digital and Media Entertainment Division. And now, an awesome feature, 30 minutes, mano a mano, Canelo and Smith.
Just that the body shot score points. It's money in the bank, and there's a cumulative effect that I think we're starting to see it.
You sap a man's confidence with body shots, as well as taking away his energy in every
Kenny Bayless is stopping the fight.
О, какой тяжелый удар, и это нокаут. Тяжелейший нокаут.
Oh, it certainly is now. Huge right hand and calm down. And is he going to get up? It doesn't look like it.
Saul Canelo Alvarez left no questions unanswered in the ring on May 7th. But the authority and finality with which he dispensed of his opponent, Amir Khan, stirred the echoes of another question. Who's next?
Los cinturones aquí se hacen a un lado. Hay que pelear por honor y por gloria nada más.
This is Mano a Mano. If ever there was a pedigree of thoroughbred prize fighters, the Alvarezes of Guadalajara, Mexico, and the Smiths of Liverpool, England, could rightfully claim to be progenitors of some of the best boxing stock on the planet. Among them, there are two sons who represent the very best of their bloodlines. Champions Saul of the Alvarezes and Liam of the Smiths.
And Liam Smith is champion of the world.
Now, an epic stage has been set. AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas.
I can picture on September 17th all the screaming fans
You know, the big, huge monitor we have there in the background. I can picture the ring right in the center of the 50-yard line. It's going to be spectacular.
On September 17th, two chosen sons, Saul Canelo Alvarez and Liam Beefy Smith, will bring with them a combined lineage of 11 professional fighters, 225 total wins, 145 knockouts, and 4 world champions.
Lovely combination and then a big right-hand finish.
Just as this date in Dallas will mark the anniversary of Mexican independence, it will also mark a significant milestone in the storied career of that country's favorite son. The 26-year-old Canelo will be fighting in his 50th professional fight. His amazing run got jump-started by his fighting brothers at age 13 and has been guided every step of the way by Eddie and Chepo Reynoso. And so, the biography of a champion begins.
Yo no lo conocía a su hermano, pero él sí nos conocía. Buscaba a quien entrenar a Saúl y él creyó que era la mejor opción, o sea, la mejor escogernos a nosotros porque estábamos dando muy buenos resultados en el boxeo.
Yo quería ser boxeador desde la primera vez que vi pelear a mi hermano y es algo que me apasiona hasta el día de hoy.
Él fue poco a poco pasando obstáculos, ganándole a buenos boxeadores, adquiriendo un nivel boxístico que le fue llevando hasta donde está.
The special partnership between Canelo and the Reynosos was most recently tested this past May, as Alvarez faced off with 3-time world champion Amir Khan. The result? A spectacular 6th-round knockout. Alvarez recorded the 33rd knockout of his career and cemented his position at the top of the sport.
Amir Khan was beating Canelo Alvarez every round before he knocked him out. Well, guess what Canelo did? He had to adjust his game plan.
Todo lo que se hace en la pelea lo planeamos, lo trabajamos en el gimnasio, por eso es que sale natural. Ese era el plan, las fintas es una base importante en el boxeo y siempre tratamos de trabajarlas para que salgan en la pelea y todo fue parte del trabajo que hicimos durante 2 meses y medio aquí en el gimnasio.
Canelo's performance against Khan has led him to the biggest stage of his career, AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas. The saying goes that everything is bigger in Texas, and this mega venue will serve well to quantify Canelo's star power in a whole new way.
Canelo is not just a Las Vegas fighter. He's an international superstar. Canelo Alvarez can fill arenas, and that's what people want to witness. They want to be part of big major events, and this is a huge event. It doesn't get bigger than this.
Canelo Alvarez is a legitimate hero in sport. He's recognized by every country in the world at this particular time. To have a Canelo Alvarez fight in that stadium. Now that's big time stuff, but that's what this stadium was built for, was big time stuff.
Ser la segunda pelea en ese estadio tan grande, tan importante, creo que para mí es una historia más en mi carrera. Estoy muy emocionado de estar ahí, esperando que sea 17 de septiembre para ver ese estadio lleno y obviamente disfrutar el momento.
Vamos a tener mucho apoyo de la afición, vamos a sentir como que estuviéramos peleando en México. Es muy importante siempre estar cobijado por la gente mexicana.
A well-advised and prudent fighter, Canelo could never look beyond the sprawling plains of Texas, or the man who will be waiting for him in the ring at AT&T Stadium. Members of the sporting press, however, are looking well beyond, to the vast rolling hills of Karaganda, Kazakhstan, and the sunny Los Angeles training grounds of undefeated middleweight champion Gennady Golovkin, the man they call Triple G.
I do feel Saul Alvarez, golden boy, have made a huge mistake here. I feel they should have took the Triple G fight and got paid well. Because for losing to Liam Smith, I think it'll be harder to take than losing to Triple G.
Canelo Alvarez is a junior middleweight, so when I thought about what champion Canelo Alvarez should face at junior middleweight, I instantly thought about the WBO world title because you have the best champions in that organization, and Canelo Alvarez must fight the very best.
Oh, yes. Beauty, absolute beauty.
You know, I get, people keep banging on about this Golovkin stuff. I get that. Why does he want to step up to 160? That's a progression. Let's find out if he's the best fighter at 154, first of all. I don't think he is. If he beats Liam Smith, he will be.
Look, the only reason why Canelo fought for the middleweight title is because he wanted Miguel Cotto. That's the bottom line. But Canelo Alvarez is not a middleweight, not yet. He's a junior middleweight. He's been fighting at 155. So therefore, this fight here, we said, let's go after the best junior middleweight champion in the world, who is Liam Smith.
It's the right decision to do what he's done. He's only a 154, whether it's hard to make or not. He's a 154 fighter, and you know, he's a solid 154. He's a small 160. I think the only reason he's getting a bit of criticism and backlash is because of what he said at the end of his last two fights. If he'd have openly said, you know, I'll fight Triple G 2017, I'll build into a 160, then people would have said, fair enough.
Secure in his position at the top, young Canelo has set his sights on once again becoming a world champion at 154 pounds before looking elsewhere.
Liam Smith is not a household name here, but he's dangerous. He's one of those fighters who is undefeated. He's a world champion who has a lot of pride, and he's thinking knockout. He's thinking beating Canelo Alvarez and taking that title back home to the UK.
Alvarez is 26 with 50 fights. This will be his 50th fight.
There's not many things that put fear me or scare me. I was always the sales fighting in school and stuff like that.
Alvarez, golden boy, made a huge mistake here.
I think we'll have the right man to do the job and take the crown away from Saddam Alvarez.
Yo quería ser boxeador desde la primera vez que vi pelear a mi hermano y es algo que me apasiona hasta el día de hoy.
Live from Dallas, Texas on Mexican Independence Weekend.
Canelo.
Canelo Alvarez is back to face an undefeated world champion on an 8-fight knockout streak, Liam Smith.
I don't think he'll get up from that.
Will Liam Smith keep the knockout streak alive? Or will it be a Canelo Alvarez celebration to remember? Canelo versus Smith, Saturday, September 17th, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, live on pay-per-view.
Los cinturones aquí se hacen a un lado. Hay que pelear por honor y por gloria nada más.
I've got a style like you'll enjoy, you know, there's no messing about.
Oh, it's gone this time though. Oh dear. WBO junior middleweight champion of the world, Liam "Beefy" Smith. Accurate, sustained attack. Great body shot. There's a fiendish glee about the way he goes about his work. Great body shot again.
Done it with the body shot.
And a big leg hook to the head. I don't think he's got a lot left, Barry. Bravery is keeping him upright. Oh, and down he goes. Great shot, another body shot. Right on the spot where
There's not many things that will fear me or scare me, and I was never ever scared of anything growing up or anyone at any age.
It can be observed that a man's fate is dictated by the contents of his character, and his limits are set only by the sum of his fears. When applied to the biography of Liam Smith, the former rings true at the start of every round.
There you go, lovely.
The latter has yet to be defined.
The one thing I do know in all my years, and there have been a lot of years in boxing, what I do know is that the Mexican people like fighters, and they're going to like Liam Smith because you cut him in half and it reads fighter. That's what he is.
Liam Smith is a fighter who is strong, who is durable, who's going to take the punch. I mean, he has legs of a soccer player. I mean, he's a big guy, and he's going to keep coming forward.
Liam follows a path well traveled by his brothers Paul, Stephen, and Callum. The groundwork for his amateur career was laid on the hard cobble streets of Liverpool, England. But the exacting standards required of a professional champion are met in the gym. And as always, the Smith brothers' sibling rivalry serves them well.
Me two brothers joined Joe first, and I was hearing good things about the training and stuff, and obviously I wanted to still be around my brothers as well. We're a close family, we're very close, and I moved to Joe. We've had 17 fights here now, and we're still unbeaten and we're going strong.
I've always believed in Liam Smith when he came in the gym and he was shadow boxing and the way he was moving. And I just thought he's got something about him, the way that he moved, and then when he started sparring, and he had something that you're not born with, it's timing.
As Liam Beefy Smith can attest, traditional naming conventions have been applied equally to his past, present, and future.
I was a fat baby. I was a big kid, and my dad called me when I was I think it was 3 years of age, and he kept it going. Obviously, some people now we call me little nephew champ. You're right, champ, and you're the little nephew Scouse. You make names up as kids. And my dad called me Beefy as a kid, and obviously every time he used to shout me and mess about, he used to call me Beefy, and it just stuck ever since. And I can't really moan about it because I fight with it on my shorts. So.
Just as regional dialects serve to identify one's geographic origins, specific fighting styles have come to be associated with certain regions as well. Enter the Scouse Mexican.
He's got a good style. I mean, he fight. We call him our Scouse, which is a Liverpool thing, our Scouse Mexican. He fights a little bit like a Mexican. A lot of body shots, a lot of action, good puncher. Since 2013, he's knocked out everybody that he's fought. I think that's 8 knockouts.
Tiene un estilo como mexicano, golpea bien abajo, combina muy bien. Es lo que me gusta, que estén ahí para estar ahí, que la gente salga contenta de una buena pelea.
I think you're going to see the way I fight. I think I fight the way most of the Mexicans were brought up to fight. They love a fight and no fanciness about them, and that's what I am. I don't showboat. I don't dance around the ring. I love a fight, and I smile when I'm in the ring because it's what I love to do.
Smiling Liam Smith.
My type of fight, I sit in the pocket, catch, like I say, and that's him. I call him El Bifo, don't I? The Scouse Mexican, whatever El Bifo means, I don't know. But anyway, I just put an L on the front and know in the ending for it's a bit Mexican, I'll have a bit of El Bifo there.
As Ring Magazine 2015 Trainer of the Year, Joe Gallagher has been reinvigorated. The often quotable cornerman of Liam Smith seems intent on proving that he was the right choice over Canelo's trainer, Eddie Reynoso.
It's a fantastic achievement, and even now, 7 months later, it doesn't seem to have sunk in because, as I call it, we're in the moment. Maybe in 10, 15 years it might sink in, but it's just, it's a fantastic achievement. It's like being awarded a knighthood by the Queen back in England. That's how it is in terms of boxing.
Yo creo que hicimos buenas peleas con Saúl. Coronamos un muchacho también de peso mínimo allá en Japón en el 2015. Pero no, yo le dejo las votaciones a la prensa, a la gente especializada en eso. Yo no creo que soy joven y ya cuando pase más tiempo, pues los reconocimientos solos van a llegar.
Well, I think that's what I turned professional for, to pit my wits against the best trainers in the world, your Freddie Roaches, your Virgil Hunters, and now, like I say, Eddie. I seen when I was watching the Mano Mano for the Amir Khan Alvarez, and I seen he was in there. He was saying, "Oh, he's been up against Freddie Roach, he's beat him. He's been up against Virgil Hunter and Gulu, and they sent him to retirement." I just thought, wow, he's got that competitive. He's a very bit much like me. That when the fights are made, it's also against that battle of wills between the coaches, and I know he'll be very competitive, and I'm sure he'll be wanting to take that scalp, won't he, of beating me, but it'll be a scalp that both me and Liam will enjoy.
As the biggest opportunity yet for Team Smith approaches, Both fighter and trainer look on soberly to the task at hand, and their position as underdog seems only to embolden these Brits.
I've been involved with a lot of matches over the years where the British guy is basically seemed to be a bit of a patsy. Ricky Hatton, when he was fighting Costa Zoo at the time, I think was ranked number 1 or 2 pound for pound best fighter in the world. And Ricky Hatton broke his heart, took him to school and broke his heart. And I think we've got a similar situation with this. I feel that he is, I think he's the real deal.
I think being in around us for the last couple of days, I think they realise now that this kid here from England isn't intimidated, believes in himself. There's a belief in our work that we can do this, and I think now they've been around us, they're in for a good fight on the night, and that we are coming to win and serious about winning and stopping Saddam Alvarez.
You know, you need to know me as a person to know I wouldn't shy away from nothing or no one. And any one of them big fights that would have moved my name from there to there, I'd have took. And that's exactly why I took this Canelo fight, because you know, I know this is going to move my name from there to the very top. It's not about money, it's not about, you know, it's not about the occasion. I'm going there to win, and I am going to win.
Alvarez is 26 with 50 fights. This will be his 50th fight.
There's not many things that put fear me or scare me. I was always the sales fighting in school and stuff like that.
Alvarez, golden boy, made a huge mistake here.
I think we'll have the right man to do the job and take the crown away from Saddam Alvarez.
Yo quería ser boxeador desde la primera vez que vi pelear a mi hermano y es algo que me apasiona hasta el día de hoy.
Los cinturones aquí se hacen a un lado. Hay que pelear por honor y por gloria nada más.
I've got a style like you'll enjoy, you know, there's no messing about.
Live from Dallas, Texas on Mexican Independence Weekend.
Huge right hand by Canelo.
Canelo Alvarez is back to face an undefeated world champion on an 8-fight knockout streak, Liam Smith.
I don't think he'll get up from that.
Will Liam Smith keep the knockout streak alive? Or will it be a Canelo Alvarez celebration to remember? Canelo versus Smith, Saturday, September 17th, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, live on pay-per-view.
Two foes meet. Mirror images in style, attack, and determination.
There's that body shot again, and that hurt him too.
What happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object?
Liam Smith is a fighter who comes forward, who's relentless, who's big, who's powerful, comes from a boxing family. You have to be ready for Liam Smith. You have to be in great shape for Liam Smith, or else he's gonna walk right through you.
Gente que está dentro del boxeo sabe que es un peleador invicto, sabe que es un peleador joven también, saben que es un peleador con buena pegada, que sus últimas 8 peleas las ha terminado por nocaut. Entonces es un peleador de peligro, que pega, pero lo más importante para nosotros es un peleador que pelea, que va a ir al frente, es un peleador que quiere venir a conquistar el mercado americano. En fin, hay muchos argumentos que tiene él que lo van a hacer peligroso.
This fight you could have in a phone box. It's just absolutely a huge fan-friendly fight, this fight is.
No, I'm not going to go in there and box like Amir does. I don't box like that. You know, I box, I'm coming for you and I'm coming to make you fight, and that's what I'm going to do to Canelo. He's going to, you know, he's going to have to bring something more than he's brought against other people, as in, you know, he's going to have to fight me and he's going to have to be in very good shape.
No, me siento muy contento, muy emocionado por esta pelea. Es un campeonato más para mi carrera. Me siento muy contento, muy motivado, entrenando como siempre al 100% porque quiero ganar ese campeonato.
Rarely could this classic paradox present itself as an opportunity. As the date, September 17, 2016, looms over the horizon, just such an opportunity awaits boxing fans worldwide.
The thing about Liam is Liam's a fighter that needs a challenge. The better the fighter he fights, the more you get out of him. If you're a fight fan, you don't get no better than this.
I've got all the inspiration I need, really. You know, one of them is I'm afraid to lose. I'm a winner. I want to win everything I do.
Siempre pensé en ser campeón mundial, en ser uno de los mejores peleadores, pero conforme iba avanzando, iban saliendo muchas más cosas que ser simplemente campeón mundial, ¿no? Obviamente todo boxeador quiere ser campeón mundial, gracias a Dios ya lo fui. El hacer historia en este deporte, en ser más allá que ser campeón mundial, creo que eso es lo que busco, ¿no? Eso es lo que busco, que cuando pase el tiempo la gente hable de boxeo y siempre se acuerde del Canelo.
I think it's going to be a physical fight. It would surprise me to see a knockout. What I think you're going to see is two great fighters of will going after it.
Ellos saben por qué tienen que comprar el pay-per-view. Yo siempre me preparo para dar lo mejor de mí arriba del cuadrilátero, para noquear si es posible. Siempre me preparo para los 12 asaltos también. Ellos más que nadie van a disfrutar esta pelea.
This is a real fan-friendly fight. You've got two fighters, Sal Alvarez. I'm sure Alvarez, when they picked Liam Smith, thought, wow, great, at last, someone that's got to stand there with me, go to the body like I go to the body, mirror image of each other in shot selection, everything else too. And Alvarez is licking his lips thinking, wow, someone's got to come and have it with me. You're not got to get Liam Smith running, you're not got to get Sal Alvarez running.
Bueno, le invito a todos los fans a que compren esa pelea porque va a ser una pelea explosiva, como le gusta a los fanáticos, una pelea del tú por tú, y es las clásicas que les gusta ver a la gente.
You know, I'm going there to win, and I'm going there to have a war with Canelo. You know, he's got no worries about in training. I'll openly, you know, I'll tell him face to face. You know, you don't have to worry about in training camp going cutting the ring off for me. You won't have to go looking for me.
September 18th, I just said to Liam, I think you'll be flown all over America. The press, everyone has all got what a piece of Liam Beefy Smith, the Scouse Mexican that went to Dallas and beat the Mexican Golden Boy.
Yo no tengo nada que enseñarle a nadie. Las cosas hablan por sí solas. Lo que he llegado a hacer a mis 26 años, no cualquiera lo hace, así que no tengo que mostrarle nada a nadie, simplemente mostrarme a mí lo que puedo hacer.
It has been surmised that the square of canvas real estate inside a professional boxing ring can be the most dangerous place in the world. What, then, can be said of the men who choose this as their place of business and stake their very existence upon the dealings within?
Amo el boxeo, amo lo que hago, disfruto lo que hago. El boxeo es mi vida y todo en general. Amo todo lo que sea boxeo, amo lo que hago.
To understand the nature of these warriors is to know how sweet a thing it is to suffer and be strong.
The UK fans who are going to travel, they're travelling for a reason because they know, you know, I'm in this fight. This fight's not a gimme, and you know they're going to travel to, you know, see a huge upset on September 17th.
They bring with them the armor forged in sanctuaries of familial support. Their weapons are honed by the sum of their sweat and blood. They are prepared to wear the champion's crown once again as a legend, or at last grasp the golden ring as boxing's newest megastar. When stepping into this sacred square, a man walks away with everything or nothing.
Don't miss the fight. Canelo Alvarez versus Liam Smith, Saturday night, September 17th at goldenboypayperview.com.